各位亲爱的网友朋友，大家好。
Everyone.
今天我们话题聊的是关于他是谁。
Today our topic is who is he?
多数的故事都是有关于这样个他是谁的一个疑问。
So the stories that we have has to relate to that. Who is he?
一种转世
Maybe is in relation to some reincarnation.
就其实这个问题都会涉及到我们每个人。比如说你生了个孩子，
It involves all of us. For example, when you deliver a
他像
child,
你一个特别熟
do
悉
you
的
think he
人和特别
resembles
亲近的人。
someone that you know?
比如说你爷爷去世了，
For example, your grandpa passed away. You love your
但是你
grandpa.
今天你生了一个女儿，
And today
但
you
是你
have a
总感觉
daughter.
这个女儿
You
和你
always
爷
feel
爷
that your daughter
之
has
间
some
这
resemblance
有一种莫
with your
名的类
grandfather.
似的感觉。因为小 baby 刚生出来，他可能不会走路，你看不出走路。
Because when the baby is born, you may not see that the baby can walk,
眉眼之间
but you feel that some of the features
就是像你爷爷那么庄重
resembles your grandfather,
那么有修养对。
as cultured
我
as
说
your
这个也是玩
grandfather.
笑，但是你仔细
Although I
想
say may sound a little bit like a joke, but
甚至
think
是还有人觉得
think a little bit further.
这个，我生了这个孩子，这个孩子怎么特别像我去年我们家死的那条狗？
Some even feel that, oh, why does my child
哎
resembles
那孩子一叫的
the
声音
dog
和那
that
狗
passed
叫
away
得非
last
常类
year?
似
Even
而
the
且那个
way
眼
the
神也非
child
常类
called
似
is similar.
而且
The
那个狗
face
几点
features
钟
looks
叫
very
吃东西孩
similar.
子也是这样的，几点钟嗷嗷叫，那也是同样一个时间。
They have the share the same timing
我说的不是
that they
我
want to
遇到的
eat.
问题，
This
几乎
is
每
not
个人家
a
都可能
problems that I face,
大约可能遇到的问题。
because it is a problem
这样
that
的
quite certainly that every
非常
families
类
may
似的感
encounter
觉
something similar.
是有的时候你会怀疑你是谁。
Some you actually
比
suspect
如说你
who is
走到
he?
一个新环境，
Say
对
you
吧
enter into a
比
new
如说你没出
environment.
国，
Say you haven't
第一
been
次去意大
overseas.
利
This is the
去意
first
大利
times that you go
觉得哎
overseas.
这个街道
Say
我
you
哪
visit
儿惯了
Italy.
哎
Why is
去了
it
一
that
个
this
小
street
店铺 之
looks so
后觉得
similar?
哎这个场景
Or
就好
why
像
is it that you go
在我
into
大
a
脑中
shop?
很有印象，
You
就好
feel
像
that
我
this
来过
shop is very
而
familiar.
且走完整个街道的时候，我肯定来过。
And after you
那
walk the whole
这种
entire
熟悉的
street,
感觉
you're very sure that
是你在
you have
此
walked that
来
place
到这个
before.
你的脚步来到这条街之前，你的灵魂来过了呢？
Maybe
还
your
是
spirit has
你
come
之
here,
前是某某人就确实来
or
过？
you were someone before and you actually came to this site
甚至
before.
还有人就是年轻人找对象的时候，
Some people,
所以
when
有
they
的人
look
就
for
一
partner,
看，后
some
来
they look
成
at
为
the
这个结婚
part
伴
of
侣
the
的人哈，
person.
一看就
The
是
moment
他
they see the person, they are
怎么
very
怎么
sure
那么
that it is
亲切啊，
that person
就是他
is so
肯定不
familiar,
是别人，这就是我要找的那
and
个
they
人。
are fixated on that
甚至是
person to
这个
be
人
their
这种
life
感觉
partner.
曾经在你的梦中出现过类似的这个脸庞。
Sometimes this face may
为
look
什么有这
familiar.
样的
Why
现
is
象？
it that you have
我
such
们需要
feelings?
慢慢研究。
Let's try to explore a
这个呢，
little bit further.
如果要解释的话，特别简单。
If
像
we
我们
want to
华
explain,
人呐、佛
it
教
is
啊
very
经常
easy
说
to
的
explain
转世轮回嘛，
because it is
是
all
吧？
part of
因为这种
reincarnation.
情啊、义呀、
And
还有
because of
欠
our
债啊、
past
欠
experience,
情啊，
because
就
of our
来世
past
来相报
credit
的，
or merit,
也有的叫
and that's
善
why
报哈。
we connect once
对，我
again
来
in
报
this
恩。
lifetime.
也有的
Some are
人呢，
here
我
to
来报
repay
怨，
kindness.
我抱怨的
Some
话
are here to
就
take
麻烦
revenge.
哈，就可
Well, it
能
would be a problem
这一辈子
if
成
the
为你的
other
儿子，
person
结
is
果把老
coming
爸的这个
to
钱全
take
部糟光了，
revenge,
糟光了他就走了。
because
有
they
这
may
样
be
的孩
here
子呀，
to just take
在
your
无论
money.
任何一个朝代，
And
这
when they
种事
take
儿
enough,
比
they will
比皆
leave
是，
you.
当代更厉害，
There are so many such
对不
people
对？
around.
老爸拼命赚钱，
The father
舍
keep
不得
making
买任
money.
何
The
贵重的
the
东西给
father
自
dare
己
not buy
啊，
anything expensive for
可是
himself.
留给很多财富
They
给
left a
孩
lot
子，
of
等孩
inheritance
子往上
for
花
the
钱的时候，
children,
不叫花钱，
but the
往上
children
倒钱
spend the money.
就好像一盆硬币呱呱呱往河里倒的那种
It's like
感觉。
pouring
哎，
a
没几
pot
年，
of
老
coins
爸拼
into
了
the
30
river.
年，赚了1000万，
Say
人
for
家3个月
example,
把1000万
the
倒掉了。
dads used 10
对，
years to
这
earn
就是
10
姻
millions,
缘呐。
but the son
今
just
天
need
故
3
事
months
主要涉
to
及到这
spend
些，
the 10
但是
millions.
这些都不
So
是网
today,
络
the
上来的，
stories are
都
all
是我们
similar.
同修哈
These are not
亲
stories
自
that
在
we
家中
find
经
from the
历的
internet.
事情，
These are
特
all
别有意思
stories shared by
啊，
our
特
internet
别有意
friends.
思。好，希望大
They
家
are very
睁大耳
interesting,
朵仔细
and I
听
hope
啊。
that you will open your ears
师傅，
and listen to
今
these
天这个
stories.
他是谁这么精彩的一个话题，我
This
们
is a
非常
very
非常
interesting
非常
topic,
有兴趣有好奇
Master.
心哈
And a lot of us are very curious. I remember that last week we have a grand prize during last week, 3 grand prizes. The first is 199 subscribers, and the second is the 200,000 subscribers, and the third is 200,001 subscribers. We already find the person, but the exact 200,000, we still do not know who is the person. I really want to know who is this person. We only know his name. His name is Kevin Haas, so that is the most fortunate person because he is the subscribers, the 200,000 subscribers, but we still do not know who this person is.
我们发现新情况，我们就新情况来解决。好的。万一他是外星人。
What if he's not from the Earth? He doesn't need to send. He's from space, and he doesn't need to write emails. The moment we can think of him, he will receive. He'll be connected. He doesn't need a cell. I really suspect this question.
我也别把这个这么贵重的一个手机哈。
Well, this is a very expensive phone. I bought the most expensive phone, the biggest phone, the biggest iPhone. If this person, these subscribers, if you are really from space, you don't come to pick your prize from today, after 1 month. That's Earth time. That's Earth time. 1 month. We can't count the heaven time.
从哪个位置算起啊？哎，就是咱们这个时间啊，今天是11月
Today it's
20号吧
the 20th of November. So until December the 20th, if this specific person, the subscribers, doesn't come to pick his prize, and after that, we will find an opportunity to allow our internet friends during one of the live feed. We will look at the sharings. How should we pick the new winners? We will decide later.
再赠送给我们热情领奖的网友，或者是
So we will give to our new internet friends, or we may leave to someone who have very good sharings, and this will be the prize for the person.
肥牛不留外人田，
肥鸡
啊，也有人说肥水哈，不留外人田哈，所以我们
So we keep this grand prize for another of our lucky winners of our internet friends. So we'll have it 1 month for Kevin to come to collect the prize. So if he doesn't collect the prize, then we'll keep it for another internet friends.
还有20.01万那个，都有人冒仿来领。
Actually, what is very interesting, we have fake that come to claim the prize for 199,999 and 200,001. Somebody tried to claim the prize, although they are not the person. So how do we manage to find out that they were fake? Because when we check and try to match against the registration, they don't match. If you are someone that really need a phone, and you need a prize from me during your birthday, you can write to me. Since when have I been so... Why am I so generous? But I said it, I would do it. So during during the New Year, we will have another grand prize. During the live broadcast, it's about 1 month plus is arriving. So during that time, we will have a live. So it's about a month plus. It's a Sunday. So we'll have a live broadcast So if you're born on that day, you have to show me the registrations, your birth certificates, and with your photos, and you can write to my personal email, 不想虚度. So you need to have legal documents to prove that you're born on the 1st of January. So if there are people who are born on that day, I will give you the price, and the price will be expensive phone, the latest phone.
就说走嘴了就认了，
网友就捡到了。
对对对。
So on New Year Day, we'll have the special prize.
很好玩啊。
So reincarnation is actually very interesting. So maybe we have Jason to share the first stories. Actually, a few days ago, I was watching the televisions, and there's a very handsome boy. He lives in LA. His name is Tyler. He's only 26 years old. He's born in 96. He is known as a very well-known Hollywood medium. He's very good at looking at those who pass away. So they want to know where their relatives. So let me introduce about him. He realized that he has this special connections with those passed away. So one day when he was sleeping, he suddenly feel that, oh, my grandma passed away. He feel that it is very real. And he said that my grandma has passed away. And suddenly the cell phone rang, and the dad called the mom to say that the grandma passed away. So this is the first time that he realized that he has this ability. And after that, his teachers or friends asked him to help. And when he was 90, he's suddenly very smart. And a lot of people know about this because he lives in California. And the stars in Hollywood start to know about this. So there are a lot of people who come and have some TV show about him. And he even wrote 2 books. And from this year, in Netflix, he has this live show. And there's some even non-average person. And it's actually quite accurate in his reading. So there's a young mother. He lives in LA. Asian descent. And this young mother has a boy and a girl. So that's Shirley. During that time, Shirley only has a 2-year-old daughter. After the mom passed away, Shirley kept thinking about the mother. So she cannot forget the mom. So she went to Tyler and asked. Tyler looked at her and told her that your daughter is 5 years old. You should always look at your daughter's behavior. Maybe she will talk to the wall, or she has some weird behavior. Maybe she'll be able to tell where your mom is. So one day, Sherry observed the daughter because she just delivered a boy. And she's observing the young brother and talk to the young brother. And the mom walked over and said, what is it? Who are you talking to? And the daughter said, I'm talking to Popo, which is the grandma. I talked to my grandma. Where's your grandma? And just point to the brother and say, brother is grandma. And Sherry remembered that when she was in the hospital, because before the mom passed away, said to the mom, said, Mom, if you like, I hope that you can be my child, so that you can still be with us as a family. We can grow together. So she starts to believe that a boy is actually a reincarnation of a mom. This is a story.
首先就是这个 Tyler 是去指示这个 Shirley 要注意女儿的，要观察女儿的，因为可能他也看出这个女儿也能够看到或者是感受到一些特别的这种场景。
Maybe the daughter can see something, and that's why she chatted with the child. And then she told the mom that the child is actually the grandma.
受采访的这个女孩子 Shirley 再去想，哎呀，可能这是她妈妈就是去世前的一个约定。
And that's why she thought maybe that was because of her agreement with the mom before her mom passed away.
然后就是女儿很舍不得，不想让母亲走嘛，可是知道有
Because the daughter don't want to let the mom go.
那就说
And that's why the daughter said to the mom at the deathbed, said that if you like, you can reincarnate to my families and be my child. It is as if it's a connection between the two souls. And that's why the mom who passed away returned and reincarnated as the son. So this agreement has turned to real. When we're talking about this incident, I think we talk about before that was the mom, and then the mom changed to become their daughter's son.
是不是啊？对。哎，那我的回答看待这件事情是不一样的。
Well, I think this is a bit different.
隔世之间的，隔世的啊，
it is different generations.
在人世那个不在人世的概念哈，这个也就是灵魂，和我们人间的这个人伦辈分是不相等的哈。
The soul is different from our human type of generations. Well, if Shirley think that the son is the mom, how can Shirley scold the mom? Because if it's the mom, you would treat your mom really well. But if your son is naughty, you definitely want to punish him. I have this question, but Master, you provided me with guidance. I think first, it is a spirit. And a spirit, when it becomes a specific person, human beings or specific animals, they have very close ties, so close that they can't part with one another. It's like when a daughter sees before the mom passed away, the mom said, since I can't move,
那个痛苦的场景哈，你反正这个病也可能也得要死的，所以说，哎呀，如果妈妈你，如果因为她还年轻嘛，因为前头刚生一个宝宝嘛，
because the mom is, because she's still young,
我生个宝宝的话
and say, well, if I have a child, I can reincarnate it to the baby. When the moms agreed, so Lord Yama agreed to such connections, so that the mom can be reincarnated to be Shirley's son. So this is different from our human type of generations, because a mother, you can't say, you cannot change the ranking, the generational ranking, like mom cannot be the child. Well, that is the human's generations. It is the lineage. The reason why we have this generation line is so that it allows us to be more harmonious in the family. Why do we do that? So that we can have healthy kids. And secondly, in terms of management, it is very clear. The succession line is very clear. But when the person passes away, it turns into a spirit. So from a mother, now reincarnated to be a child, so they're out of this cycle. So it is a reshuffling of, they don't have to follow this lineage.
慢慢来，慢慢来。好，那就是还有我们的网友啊，台湾的这个黄医。
And we have another sharing from our Taiwan friends. And to share is that the son is reincarnations of the dog.
对，我们听一听。师父好。
Hello, Master. I know about a Mei-Ling, Sister Mei-Ling, who has 2 children. The daughter is very smart, study really well, and always get first in class. But the son, when our son is in primary 1, he's very hyperactive and always bully the sisters. The results is not good. And not only that, the son always like to write on the floor and sleep, lie on the floor, even sleeping and writing and drawing. And he likes to tear papers into pieces. And actually, after I know her for a while, actually the son is reincarnations of a family dog. Mei-Ling said that when the dog passed away, all of them was very sad, especially her husband. And when they cremated the dog, the husband brought the ashes to the beach, to the sea, to disperse it. And while dispersing it, he was very sad and make a wish. If it's possible, please come to become my child in the reincarnation. During that time, they only have a daughter. Mei-Ling is already in her 40s, and the husband is already in his 50s. Initially, they don't want to have any more child. But after that, she was pregnant and they have a son. When the son is born, he doesn't look similar to any of them. And something strange happens when the son starts to learn how to walk. When the husband wants to go to the toilet to poop, he will make a few turns before go to the toilet. And the husband and wife find very strange that the son has some behavior like the dogs. For example, the dog likes to bite the toilet paper into pieces. And the son likes to tear papers into pieces. Subsequently, they look for a psychic for advice. The psychic says that indeed, the son is actually reincarnated from the dog. And the psychic also reminds them that before the son turns 4, he should not go into a temper. Otherwise, it will be bad for the son. And during that time, the husband then shared of the wish that he made. So they didn't realize that the wishes has come true. And that's why the dog still has some resemblance. The son has the resemble the dogs. So the question is it because they have very deep connections and that's why the dog reincarnated as a human in this lifetime?
愿望成真呐。
Well, we can only say that it's a wish that comes true.
说不要轻易给任何人许愿。
And that's why I tell you not to make any false promise. Because if you make a wish to deities or God, they will await for that to deliver us.
狗就来了。
And when you make that wish to
对
dog,
吧？你这个
the
真有
dog
点麻烦哈。
fulfill your
对
wish.
那我怎么解释这个事儿啊？
How to
我认为
explain
这就
this?
是那个狗转世，
I think indeed it is a
没什么好说的。
reincarnation of the dog.
就是让
Nothing
你一
much to
次养狗
explain.
养到腻了，以后就不会再养狗。
So after that, you will not
对不对？
want to have dogs.
当你发现你的
When you
狗的
find
又
that
动又跳，
your
哎，
dogs
觉得
keep
挺可爱的。
moving, you find that it's
就
so
发现你
cute.
的儿子一
And
直跳个不
suddenly you
停，
find
静不
that
下
your
来的
dog,
时候，
your son behave like your
这
dog
就有
that
问题
moves.
了。所以
It's
让
moved
儿子
too
静下来的
much.
方法，我终于找到了，找训狗师。
So now I know a way to tame
不是
an
训狗师
active
是来训
son.
你儿子当狗训，
And
说
you
不定
just
儿子就
find
进来了。
those who train the dog. The dog trainer
对
will be able to
其实
train
有
very
些幼儿
naughty
园老
boys.
师也是训狗师出身。
Actually,
啊
sometimes
哎
some
他就
of the
训狗知
preschool
道的
teachers
对，
are
说明他就
actually
训好
dog
你的儿
trainers.
子哈。所以这个动物呢转成人这件
So
事
when
情来
animal
说
reincarnated
太
as
常见
human beings,
嗯
this
太
is
常见
very
但是师傅
common.
他们确实会带有一些上辈子动物的
Master,
一
is
些
it true that
习
they
性
will
特
have
征是
some
吧？
personalities from the
那
previous
些
life?
你其实
Yes.
你仔细观察你
You
哈，
observe
回个家就
closely.
喜欢在地
If you
上
look
爬
at
的，
those who come back
有时候是
home
成年
and they
人哈，
like, and these
就
are
是
like they
潜
like
意识
to
说不定就是动物。
crawls or have some certain
就是这
movement
样。
that resembles
那
certain animals.
没事像个
Well,
猴子
very
一样老
likely
养
that
成
they
总
were
是爬杆的那种
reincarnated
才是
from
啥
animals.
猴子。
For those that like to
啊，是
climb
吧？
a lot,
就总想梦想
maybe
着要
in
飞
their
呀，总
past
想飞，
life,
一看见
it
小
will
鸟
be
就开
like
心，这就是鸟转世。
monkey. And those who want to fly very high, maybe they are
这
birds
是乌龟还是蛇吧，反正
reincarnated.
就是对
For
不乖
those who
不乖
want to
动
stay
的
at home and they don't want to
对
move,
所以
they
有
could
很
be
多人他
turtles
是
or
具有一
even
些
snake.
动物的一些
Indeed,
特
some
征。
people have
还
some
留在身上。
characteristics of animals.
师傅，那这个故事呢，是讲的是狗狗转世为
So
人。
this story is
我
about
记得在
reincarnations of a
官方
dog to a
书里
human
有篇
beings.
讲是跟
I
师傅有关
remember
系的
that
就是
in the book, the Buddhist
是
robe,
前世的
there was also
保护
some
我和
similar
拯救我的一
stories.
个是像县衙这样的一个人，他转世成为狗
来报答师傅
来报答师傅的，就是
There is
夺命大
about
花汤
a
那一章
dog
里面的
that
这样的一个小
reincarnated
故
to
事。
save masters in one of the
其实
stories
那个
in
狗呢
Buddhist
我
robe.
对它印象都不深了
Actually,
哈，
I don't
时
have a
隔
lot
多
of
年
very
了
strong
哈。
impressions
对，
of the
它
dog.
就
Yeah, it
过
was a
来，
long
哎
time.
一撞
But
一弄
the
的，
dog
但是
came
反正
to
没看清那个动作
to
哈。
knock the
这
knock
个
the
这个大花汤
poisonous
小
soup
哈，
that
对，
有人
所以
要陷害师
someone
傅
because
在
they're
大
doing
花
that
汤里下
time
毒
someone
然后
put
给
some
师傅
那个
poisons
忘不了。
and want master to
他
drink,
那个动作，
and the dog
对，
came and just
嗯，
pushed
感人的
the
哈
hands
这
and
个
they
也
broke
是几
the
十
the
的这
bowl
种
the
情
bowl
况
fell
这个狗
and
呢，
broke
还是
into
害我的人，他
pieces.
自己家的狗，
他就等着呢。
对，就在那等着
在这
了，坐着。
等
So actually, the dog was reincarnated into that family and waiting for the moment to save master.
那个狗的，因为那个时候他们养狗并不像现在
During that
城市人
time,
养狗那么
the
当
way
宠物
that
养。
they have a dog, it is not taking
随
care.
便他家里
It is
院
not
子
like
里有个
now
小
they
餐
really
馆
treat the
就
pets
随便
really
乱溜达的
really
狗
well. They
啊
just
见我也
looking
不
at,
是
they're
说
just the dog was
亲热
just to
就
look
在
after
对
the
我就一般
was just as a
但那
to
个时
keep
候哎
the
就
house
救了
safe.
关键时刻，
关键时
But
候
at the
救了
critical moments, the dog stepped forward to save
这
master.
个故事也
It was
是
a
提到
very
了一
good
个
story,
前
master.
世也有这样的
It
一
is
个
about
恩情
reincarnations,
这样
and
的一
because
个
of
人
masters
这一
have
生
saved
来
that
保护师傅
dog in
我
the
就觉得
previous
我
life,
对
and
这个
that's
狗的
why
一个悲
the
哀
person
在
decided to
啊
reincarnated
谢
and
谢啊
await
谢
to
谢，其实
save
你不提
master.
这个事儿，我多年我都忘了。
Actually, I totally forgotten about the stories.
那师傅我们
Thanks
也
for
这一位
bringing it up.
黄师姐分享这个狗狗转世的这个师姐，也给她点个赞吧啊！
应该点赞。
Shall we have
还
some
送个小礼物吗？
有
prize for this, sisters, who share the stories? Yes.
因为这个师姐分享的是别人的故事哈，
是
就我就
Because
送给她2颗。
She's
哈
sharing about
一个
someone's
是她
stories,
自己
so I
还
have
给
two for
她
her.
分享的这个朋友
One is for
好
her friends, one is
美
for
玲
her.
啊，好，
好，感
好
恩师，
祝
傅。
美玲师姐和你的朋友哈，
Wishing you
健康长寿
health, longevities, and
来
auspiciousness.
师傅
Thank you,
2颗
Master.
八宝灵珠，
师傅，那接下来呢，我们有一位来自于旧金山
Master, we have another from Zhi Ping from LA, and it's about the daughter stories. It's quite interesting. 20 over years ago, I had a very strange dream. In that dream, I dreamt about Guanyin, and Guanyin gave me a big bead, and said to me that, do not let someone take these beads, and try to swallow these beads. I put it into my mouth, just was about to swallow it. Suddenly, the earth shook. I was so shocked. Maybe the beads was too big. It actually slipped down from my mouth. I quickly stepped forward to pick it up. This time, I saw that on the earth came 3 monsters. One with a bull head, and the one follows a unicorn, has a single horn. And the bull-head monster has a huge big fox. And they came forward and said, return the beads to me. Return the beads to me. It doesn't belong to you. We need to take it away. At that time, I was so shocked, and I trembled, and I hold the beads closely to my heart. And during this time, Guanyin Bodhisattva said to me, do not pass the beads to them. I wait very long before I get it. So I rejected that. I said, I've not seen anyone. You find the wrong person. After they left, I saw that from the deep blue sea, there is a little girl wearing a pink nightgown walking towards me. Strangely, shortly after, I thought I was pregnant. And then I found that I have a daughter. I know that she is actually a present, a gift from Guanyin Bodhisattva. When my daughter was born, she is exactly like any other newborns. When she wakes up, she smiles. When she sleeps, she smiles. And she smiles and she laughs a lot. Sometimes her laughter makes me scared. Later on, I know of a psychic, and he said that, your daughter in the head, is there a red birthmark? I was very shocked when he said that to me. How do you know that? He told me that your daughter died at sea before. In the past, he ever was in a big vessel. Somebody murdered her and pushed her down from the vessel. During that time, her head knocked onto one of the part of the vessel, and after that, she was drowned. When the daughter was born, at the back of her head, there is a huge birthmarks. It's as big as 4-finger size, and it's very red. So this is exactly the same as the girl that I had in my dream. So could it be the one that dropped into the sea, reincarnated to my family? It is something that we cannot explain. After my daughter was born, she brought a lot of laughter to my family. She is a very lively kid. Everybody loves her. No matter whether it's our families, friends, teachers, classmates. She is a very good girl. And when she turned 13, suddenly she refused to talk. She doesn't want to meet people. She locked herself up. She became a complete changed person. She had depressions. Depressions affected her for many years. Last year, because of her job, her depressions conditions worsened. She couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep. Every day when she returned home, she cried a lot. And even when she slept, she cried too. And over the phone, she said, Mom, I'm very scared. I couldn't breathe. I feel that I'm going to leave. I feel like telling you is that I love you. When I heard these words from her, I was so scared. But there's very little I can do. Just when I was feeling hopeless, I was very lucky that I came to Bodhi meditations. I followed Master. I've joined many internet classes. I benefited a lot, and I finally understood the offering lights and chanting and how it can have merits. So after that, I helped her to offer a light for the entire year, and I started to chant for her. I've showed her all Master's live broadcasts. I even have Master's app so that she can listen to Masters and also listen to the blessing music. Shortly after, I find that she stopped crying. It's still the same job. She's still very busy, but she stopped complaining. She feels better, and she becomes a little bit. She grow a little bit better, and she say, I understand now. I'll try my best, and if I can't do it, The worst case scenario is that I'll just change a job. What's even more amazing is that before that, she has no religion. And one day, she asked me about Guanyin Bodhisattva. She asked me to invite a Guanyin Bodhisattva's pendant and to wear it. And she loved to follow masters to chant. And this is because of her connections with Guanyin Bodhisattva. Thank you, Guanyin, for giving me such a beautiful girl. Thank you, masters, for saving her. I feel that this is a very unique connection. From her dreams, it started from her dreams. First, there's some monsters that come after her. It is like some fantasy stories. One thing I realized that if bodhisattvas want you to eat something, swallow something, you should quickly swallow it. And she didn't do it, and that's why after that, there are 3 monsters that come after it. So what is that bead? It must be a very special bead. It is actually her daughter. And it is a gift from Guanyin Bodhisattva. And Guanyin Bodhisattva always protects this child. And that's why the child wants to listen to Guanyin, the chants, and why is it that she wanted to have a pendant? Well, first of all, Guanyin Bodhisattva is someone that will seek out those sufferings. So if you ever dream of Guanyin, it is very auspicious. Every time in your dreams, and if the image is good, it means it is auspicious. Always remember that those are good dreams, auspicious dreams. If they try to give you something, you always want it because it represents good things. Never reject. So she says that she had this dream, and there's someone wearing a nightgown, a pink colored nightgown, walking from the sea to her. She met this young psychic. The psychic was able to say how she died in her past life. She was actually murdered and thrown into the sea. So she was able to connect. The daughter was actually wearing. So there are some connections. If you analyze the stories, there are a lot of contents. First, Guanyin Bodhisattva has a gift for her. So that is a precious pearl for her. But then, the monsters from hell want to come and want the beads back. Why? Maybe it's like she doesn't deserve the child. But then Guanyin said, "You believe in Guanyin. The Guanyin has a prize, has a gift for you." Maybe during that time she didn't have enough confidence in Guanyin. It doesn't matter whether Guanyin gave you a daughter or son, it is auspicious. Usually the child that Buddhas gave you or Bodhisattva gave you, those are auspicious. But why is it that the psychic says that she was drowned in the sea before? What is your understanding? Well, if indeed she was drowned in the sea, maybe that just says that's about the experience of the child, the previous life. So there's some destiny. So that's her predestiny. But when Buddha, Bodhisattvas gave it to you, it must be good. It must be auspicious. In the past life, she died, she was drowned in the sea. We're not sure what karmic debt was that to pay. Maybe that has been cleared and everything is now auspicious. So that's why she's reincarnated into her family.
但是就是也是，她也表述嘛，女儿其实还患过严重的忧郁症。
But she also mentioned that the daughter has very serious depressions, and that's why her emotional instability. This is very normal because during the adolescent stage, there is some hormonal change, our understanding of the world based on our interactions with other people, and because of the stress in school, when all things combine, some children during this stage, they will have some hindrance or some obstacles, and these are very common during that age group. But Master, I just want to express that because of her daughter's depressions, that's why the mom has a chance to join Bodhi meditations. And after that, the daughter was able to listen and accept, has a lot of acceptance, and be free from it. Actually, she also mentioned that the daughter initially she has no religion, but because of this, she actually have some affinity with Guanyin. Yes, because during reincarnations, there will be this part whereby you drink a potion and that will erase all your memories. Can you imagine if the girl, she knows exactly who her enemy were? If she has that memory from the past life, the moment she's aware, she may seek revenge. So can you imagine when she's like come of age at 4 years old, 5 years old, she tried to take revenge? He has a lot of hatred to this world. That's why I think it is important that we forget about our past. You must once again understand this life. And you want the kids to grow up to have a very happy childhood, rather than you want the child to have all these memories of the past life. And if they knew that they were murdered before, they may want to seek revenge. So it is important for us to forget about our past life. But there is some affinity. So she's actually from Guanyin. She's actually a gift from Guanyin. So at that point in time, Guanyin clears the eyes. And that's when she knows about the greatness of Guanyin. And that's why when she sees Guanyin, she's touched. And it's like once again, she returned to Guanyin and being taken care of by Guanyin. I saw the daughter's picture. She's really beautiful. It's a very beautiful child. Yes, indeed.
所以也是感恩这位旧金山的林之平师姐给我们发来她的这个和女儿的。
So we are very thankful for the stories that this sister Zhi Ping shared with us. Can you give a present for them?
好。送一颗八宝灵珠。
So I have 8 treasure beads for her and a Dzi bead.
祝福林师姐娘俩哈，
Wishing
都幸福吉祥，
them to have auspiciousness and
健康
happiness.
快乐，谢谢。
感恩师父。
Thank you, Master.
好，师父，今天我跟物理师姐都特意带了这个红色的这个玛瑙，
Actually,
牛角形
today
的玛瑙
we have this
哈，
crescent-shaped Dzi
大家特别
beads
喜
with
欢，
us.
我们自己也都
We
特别
really
喜
like
欢
it very
那
much.
刚刚也接到了一个跟师父分享的
And we
小故
just
事
have a stories
是
about
来自
this.
于马来西亚的文文，他说：“师父好。”
It's from Malaysia, Wen-Wen. Hello, Master. From June this year, I start to have insomnia, and I have started to have a little bit of depressions. I'm not sure why. Maybe is it because I'm reaching menopause, and I find that I can't eat well, and I even have constipations, and I lack motivations in a lot of things, and even meditations, I don't like to do it. So every day, I'm always very sad. And I think about that period, my life, it was so scary. Luckily, because of Master's teachings, internet class, and during the Medicine's Buddha's birthday, there's great blessings, and that I have the opportunities to offer lights and to build merits. I start to step out of depressions. I start to gain my confidence and my happiness. And now I have this, I'm full of thanks, full of gratitude towards Masters and Buddhas. Although my depression has healed, but I am still having my insomnia. So I was very lucky that during the chanting class, I was able to invite a few precious items, including this Crescent-Shaped Dzi Beads. After I wear it, I went into the center, meditation center. I could sense a very strong energy. And it's like suddenly I feel very tired and I want to sleep. Later on, when I go home, I slept. And although this may look very simple, but for someone who has insomnia for 4 or more months, it's a great news, because I do not need to take any medications to sleep. During that day, I slept for 6 hours. It was it was a good sleep. It was an excellent feeling. From that day on, I wear these beads every day. Every night, I was able to sleep really well. And the next day, I'm full of energy to face my work and my cultivations. So I'm completely healed from insomnia. During the same time, when my depressions becomes better and when my insomnia disappears, my constipation problem also disappears. I could smell normally, and I gain inspirations, and I continue to write again. Great thanks to Medicine Buddha, and with great gratitude to Master. Thank you for your protections and guidance for me to gain my health and happiness. I think she is going through a menopause. And she manifests in quite many ways. So even that, she also lose her ability to smell. So it's like her clock has been disrupted. After she wears this crescent-shaped Dzi beads, it starts to change. She no longer have insomnia. On the day that she wear this, she could sense it because she couldn't sleep before. The moment when she go to bed to sleep, she could sleep soundly. Let's talk about the implications. Is it because of the material, the crescent-shaped Dzi beads, that heals her? Or there's blessing that have an impact? I think not only this, not only the material, because it is, although the material itself has impact, but I think it's a blessing that's more impactful. And that's why all the items by Masters, they are so auspicious because they have Master's great blessings. So everyone has a lot of blessings. So if you look at this crescent-shaped Dzi beads, when I was young, when I compare the energy, I feel that this is more powerful. But Master, you talk about this crescent shapes. Is it because of the shape itself? First, if you understand a little bit of the history, in a lot of countries, you look at a lot of anything relating to deities, God, or spirits. They take a certain shapes. Like the Christians, they will have the cross. So they have shapes.
就是更原始的，
some more
更有
original
这种突
forms.
破能力的这个形状的东西，就是牛角
The shapes is the crescent
因为
shapes.
首先
because
牛角形来自于牛，
Firstly,
这个尤其是在过去这
in
个
the
野生的
past,
时候哈，这高原上
in
那
the
个
wild,
大野牛哈，
because
这
you
两
have
山
a
蹲
lot
地
of
像个坦克一样，它这个身体的力量啊，你想它去撞一只
Like
狮子、撞一只老虎的
the
时候，
rhinos.
牛角一
The
挑，
horn
那
is
个狮子
actually
一
very
扔几米
strong,
高，
and
下
it
来
can
就
be
摔死
even
哈。
stronger
它
than the
冲撞
lions and
今天
tiger.
他们
So when it
如果
charged
发疯似的
forward,
撞一部汽车的话，
it
哈
is like a
把这
tank.
汽车顶翻是轻而
Well,
易
it
举的
is
事，
very easy for
非常强
rhinos
烈。
to knock
就是它吃素，但是能量强大，像大象一样。
to knock a car or
对，它这个能
vehicles.
量很强，所以过去很多部族的原始的一些巫
So
师
that's
哈，
why if you look at all
哎
these
他就借
bulls,
这样的
a lot
牛
of the
神的
psychics,
这
the
个能量
wizards, or the witch
啊
in
和
the,
方
in the
法，把
past,
这样的精神和符
they
咒
want to
就加
bring
持
this
在这
power,
个牛角形
and
的
that's why
这
they
个
bless
珠子
it
上
on the shaped,
啊，牛角形的。
like the
这个牛角
horn.
形的珠子呢，最好的
So
是
if you look
我
at
个人认
this,
为哈，最好
personally,
的是红色的。
I feel that
这个红色
red
首先代表
color
着血，
is more
代表着
powerful
能量，
because red
代表着
represents
护佑。
energy,
因为呢，这
represents
个邪气
protections.
呢，通常它呈现的颜色呢，
Because a
一
lot
般
of
是
time,
偏灰黑色的多。
negative energy
那这个
is
红色的
gray and
红
dark
黄色
color.
呢，这代表着更加像
So
火
red
一样的
and
能
yellow,
量
it
啊，所以
represents
这
the
个邪气
color,
的
it
它就
represents
比较
fire.
怕，比较逃避这个颜
So
色
that's
啊。
why
再加
the
上这
evil
样的
energy
符
will
咒
want to ward
啊，
off
这样的一种
this.
做法加持之后呢，
And when you
使
have
得
this
这个
blessing,
红色的这个玛瑙珠呢，它是使得能量就更强。
it is more powerful in that sense.
这个能量最强的这种玛瑙珠呢，是，因为我们这个就是乱定价的哈，我没有选。其实最厉害的那个图文是往两边撇的。
Actually, the most powerful is
刚才看到好几个
It's
都是这样的
actually-
图文是这个图文是天然的哈，
this
天然
designs
的
are
玛瑙的哈
natural,
但是选择它能做这个珠子就不容易的
but for it
啊
to pick
因为很多玛瑙
to
比
be
较
this
小
beads
啊，
is not
它是
easy.
往两边撇的。现在我
It
手
is-
上拿的这个没有撇，它是比较直的
The
哈。
one I
看那
pick
个
is
图
very
片的
straight.
这一张呢，
What
对
about this
大概这
picture?
样子的，还有撇
Yes,
的更严重的。
something like this.
你
Some
看
are
我这里
even
的放的
more.
2号、
The size number 2
2号珠子，还有5号珠子，
and size
还有
number
1号
5.
珠子，啊，1、2、5，它就往外
1,
撇的比较
2,
厉害。
5. You
那
can
这样
see
它这个
that
能
it
量
is
就更强。
outwards.
啊
So
是
it
这
is
样的
more, it's
那垂
stronger.
直线的这个能量也还行，但是往外撇的最强。
But the one that's going
给
outwards
大家
is
知道一
stronger.
点，就是我所知道的对
So at
牛
least
角，
that's a
应该
little
说
bit
叫
of
牛角
what I know a little.
应该说天珠类哈。
So they are like
牛
Dzi
角
beads.
天珠的一些我的个人的看法，
This is my own
所以它
personal
这个保
opinions.
护作用力是比较强。
So it is very,
所以可以
it
说
protects.
我们前面这位师姐她叫啥来着？文文哈，她呢这个除了有这种更年期的问题，我
So
觉
for
得也是
Wenwen,
有点邪气侵扰。
I think she has
她戴了之
some
后，立刻那些症状就一下迅速
negative
消失了
energy
哈
as well.
她与这个邪气有点关系。
And I
但是这
think
个
after
年
she
龄呢
wears it,
就误以为
it
是
wards off.
单纯的更年期综合症，是这样的，所以这个正好赶巧了，
So
我们有
she's
这个家
just
里比较好的一个牛角
fortunate
珠，她戴上之后，
that
立刻
if she
邪气
wears
给它
something
驱
that
驱散了
is able to ward
哎
off
它正能量一
the
下就
evils,
把它保住
and
了，
suddenly
这些
the
症状就消
positive
失了哈
energy protects
对
her.
听起来也是挺巧合的哈。
It's a
好，这个
coincidence
牛
as
角
well.
珠呢，我大概就介绍这样。
So that's all I
师傅
explained
太好了
about
这样
this
的网友
beads.
更了解了。对。
我现在拿的是第8号。
What I have here is number 8.
这个红玛瑙大家都特别的喜欢。
So this is something that many
不同
people
的形状
likes it.
咱的这个玛瑙珠，它颜色是天然的呀。
The
美
color
啊
itself
我这
is
面的这
natural.
是南红的哈，
哦
这是南红，这都是天然南红的。
These are all
现在都
natural.
没有，很多天然南红都有点做假处理的，我们是纯天然的哈，特别特别好
这些也是
啊。
挂坠哈。
对，这是古老的珠子哈，
啊，
这
These
是
are some
方
of
的
these are very
这个
ancient,
老玛瑙珠哈，这些
ancient
都是
beads.
很漂亮的。
These are all very beautiful.
好
感，恩
我们
师父
恭喜文文哈。
Congratulations to Wenwen.
那我们再送给文文一件。
We have a prize for her.
好， 我们辟邪神器哈，
好，
8宝灵珠。
We have these 8 treasure beads.
好多人们们已
It
经
can ward off negative energy.
哦，都穿好的还。
对，有一个穿好的，还这么大颗哈。
真好，
好，
直接好带
祝
了。
福文文健康长寿，
Wishing Wen
幸
health
福
and
快乐。
longevities.
收到，感恩师傅。
Thank you, Master.
师傅，我觉得现在网友也特别的积极参与这个转世的话题。
I think a lot of our internet friends are very involved in
哦，
this.
就是现在在网上的一位网友叫云朵朵。
There's
他说
someone
师
say
傅
云朵朵
我怀疑
say,
我也是狗狗
Master,
投胎的。
I think I
我
was
记得
also
自
from
己小
adult
时候特别爱
reincarnations
趴着睡觉，
because when I
尤
was
其是
young,
跪趴
I
着睡
didn't.
觉。
I always
而
like
且
to
我
kneel
小时
down
候特别
and
喜
sleep.
欢狗。
And when I
见
was
了
young,
狗
I
就
loved
哭
dogs.
逼着我父母还给我
And
买
not
了
only
条
that,
狗陪我。
I
后
might
来
my
我
parents
养了
buy a
13
dog
年
for
狗
me.
狗往生了。
After 13 years,
这
the
就是
dog
云
passed
朵朵
away.
网友的一个留言。
So that is
他
her
就怀疑自
sharing.
己是狗转世的
She
哈。
suspected that she was reincarnated
我
from
不知道该
dogs.
祝他什么了，心
So
想
what
事
should we
成。
wish her? Wish her wish
祝你
comes
狗
true.
命吉祥。
Wishing you a dog life auspiciousness.
也说，还有网友更可爱了。
Another
青年网
one
友他说
shares that,
师傅，我好喜
Master,
欢树啊。
I
请
really
问师
love
傅，我
trees.
前世是
Is it
树吗？
because I was a tree in my past life?
鸟儿
Maybe a
对
monkey or a
喜欢
bird.
树的一般
Those
确
that
实
like
要么猴子，要
trees,
么鸟儿。
usually
要
they
么就是
must
木匠。
be they must be monkey or
恭喜你哈，青年网友。
birds
好的。
很好
or
玩
even a
哈。
carpenter.
可以看到网友这个新的留
对
随机的留言更有意思哈
肯。定很多网友都在想自己的前世是
I
什
think
么。
many
对。
people start to wonder what they were in
更
the
神
past
奇的
life.
转世故事即将来临，屋里有请啊。
对，好的，感恩师傅。那接下来是来自于新加
And
坡
now
的
we have
宋女
stories
士
about
那
Singapore.
之前呢，她的一个
Song
分
Jue.
享啊，之前其实我们听过。
We have
她的一
heard
个
about
故
her
事就是她的
stories
一个
before.
二女儿，哎
Her
叫
second
茂
daughter,
琴那这个小女孩呢，
茂
就是二
琴
女儿呢，就是从小可能就是
From
能
young,
看到一些
she was
我们看不
able
到的一些生命和灵
to
魂
see
之类
some
的。
lives.
所以之前在一次直播当中，
And
也
during
请
one
教
of
了
the
师傅
live
指点
broadcasts,
过
she
那
asked
师傅也
Master
帮
for
助了她这
advice.
个二女
And
儿，就
masters
是
have
这个
helped
照片
her.
的中间的这个
So
你
the
看这个
daughter
眼
is
睛
the
多
1
亮啊，这
second,
个小
the
女儿
girl.
啊，这个二
很
女儿。
漂亮的。
对，
Very
很可爱的
beautiful.
茂琴。那她其实，在跟妈妈，就是我们的宋觉师姐啊，在讲她能看到的
She
这个
shared
其中
what
呢
she can
还
see.
有隐藏了一个
And
和
there's
宋觉
something.
师姐的身世
It's something to
有
do with
关联的
Song
这样的
Jue's
一个
her
小秘密
life.
那我们现在一起来听她讲一讲
Let's
她的
listen to
故
her
事。
sharing.
师傅好，我是
Hello,
来自新加
Master.
坡的宋
I'm
觉。
from Singapore,
今天
Song
呢，想
Jue.
要和师傅分享
I'd like
我
to
的女儿
share
黄茂
my
琴的故
daughter's
事。
story.
我的女儿茂琴呢，她
My
今年
daughter
4岁。
Mao Ting is
就
4
是呢，
years
在
today.
去年我们
Last
搬
year,
新家的
when
时
we
候
moved，house,
她就开始呢，在
she started
家里
to
常常看到一些我们
say
大人
that
看不到的，
she see
像
things
是
that we
好
can't
像
see,
有章鱼啊，
like
有熊猫啊，还是
octopus,
有蛇，或
panda,
者有一些
snakes,
人就
or
会
some
呢来到我
spirits.
们的家，
So they come to
有
our
些可能是
house.
从天花板
Some
进
actually
来，
comes
或
from
者是从
ceilings,
墙壁
some
走进来，
through
或者
the
有一些
wall,
是有翅膀，就
some
从
have
窗外
wings, so
飞到
they
我们的
flew
屋
into
内。
the house.
然后他那时也是，就是常
And
常会
during
和
that
他们
time,
一起玩。
she always
这
played
些
with
朋友
these
呢，有时
friends.
还会弄他，就好像打他的头，
Some
所以
even
他
hit
就
her
不是
head.
很喜欢。
So she didn't
还
really
有
like
一次
it.
呢，就是
And
我
there
在
was
帮
one time
茂琴换衣服
When I
的
was
时
trying to
候，
change her
他
clothes,
就一直望着我的
she
肩膀，
looked at my
然后他
back
就
over my
问我说
shoulder
妈
and
妈，你
said,
知道思慧
Mom, do you know
在哪里
Sihui?
吗？
Where is
思
Sihui?
慧就是他的其中一个朋友之一。
Actually,
他就说
Sihui
就
is
在
one
我
of
的
the
身
friends.
后，我
And
真
she
的是
says that
吓坏
it's one
了。
of her friends, and
然
she
后还有
says,
一
and she
次
says
呢，
it's
我
behind my
们
back.
就在外
And
面
I
的
was
时
shocked.
候，他
And
就
one time we
说
were
叫我
outside.
跟思慧一起
She
牵手，
asked
然
me
后他也要
to
跟我牵
hold
手，
Sihui.
3个人
She
啊
want
一起
3
这样子
person
牵手，然
together
后转圈圈。
and
可是我就
turn
说这
around.
里哪里有人，然
And
后
I
我就
said
这样
there's
子还
no
扫
one
扫
there.
扫一下，
And I did
然后
that
就瞪着
actions.
我。他就
And
说
she
那
stared
你
at
跟
me
思慧
and
讲
said,
sorry，
Mom,
你已经弄到他
apologize
了。
to Sihui.
所以
You have
那时我
hurt
真的
her.
是很不安。
And during that time, I feel very I felt
非常
very
感恩师
uneasy.
父，那是在
Thank
直
you,
播中
Masters,
的
during
指
the
导
live
还有加持。
broadcast,
直
Masters'
播后呢，
blessing.
就让我联
and allow me to think that my mom had an abortion before. I was 10 years old. When my mom was pregnant, I was very happy because I was hoping to be her elder sister. So I would listen to my mom tell me. But one night, when I was sleeping, I saw my parents going to the hospital, and when they came back, if I found that my mom had an abortion. So at that time, we were very sad. So when I was 11, one day, I went to the food court to eat. Then I saw a young girl call me, "Sister." I turned. I didn't see anybody at the food court. After the live broadcast, I called my mom. I asked my mom, during that time, did you have any name for this fetus? My mom said, because she didn't know it's a boy or a girl, so she didn't have a name, but she likes Hui, these words. So my name is Si Ying. My sister is Si Jia. So if it's a daughter, it will be Si Hui. The third daughter will be Si Hui. So I was so shocked with my mom because actually my sister, it has been 20 over years. She's always close to us. So thank to Master. If Master didn't mention this and guided us, we didn't even know about this. We didn't even know that the one that kept playing with my younger daughter is actually my sister's. And Master said something. And only those that have affinity with us, we can see it. Otherwise, Lord Yanma will not let us see this spirit. And after that, I actually got golden Buddha statues on her behalf. And I also have offered 1 year of lights for her, and I hope that she can be in a better place. And after that, my daughter said, Si Hui becomes smaller and smaller, and like a grain. I think her description is like it has been reincarnated. So after that, I told my husband, I said that maybe the Si Hui has now been blessed by masters and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and been reincarnated. So from then onwards, my daughter never mentioned about her, and she don't see her again. So I'm full of thanks to masters. Thank you, Master. So it helps to clear her doubts. And she has the sisters from her past life. For 20 over years. So this daughter cannot move away and is still floating around the house. It's only the daughter that can see her. And that's why when she sees the spirits of the aborted baby, she shares with the mom.
这个思慧也是挺可怜的哈，她这只是一个胎儿。
I think it's quite pitiful for Si Hui because she didn't live, and after that, for 20 over years,
还是小小的一个像一个小幼儿的。
She's like a little baby, and nobody knows of her existence. I think the spirit must have felt very lonely for 20 over years. So this is what we always say, the aborted spirits need to be reincarnated to be. So what they did was they built a golden Buddha statue, and they also offer lights on behalf of. And her description is very good because her daughter can see. And she says that Si Hui actually changed to become like a grain size, and it's like barley grain size, and disappears. And after that, she has no image of it, of the spirits again. I'm so happy for Si Hui because she has been liberated. Because Buddha is very compassionate. Also, Bodhisattvas is very compassionate, and that's why Si Hui has been reincarnated to good families to enjoy her auspiciousness and enjoy a good life. And also Songjue's second daughter, because she can see all the spirits, this image. Not only Sihui, she can see others, like octopus, like panda. These are what other children don't see, but she can see it. And they can see that playing with her. But when the adults look, there's nothing. But think about it, she's only 4 years old. She will not lie. And that's because different days she has different image, different spirits are appearing before her to play with her. So unless you are a very creative person, you will not be able to describe this. So that's why she really see it. Actually, a proportion of children will have this ability because the frontalla is not closed up yet. And so when we look at the babies, we can see that the frontalla is not closed yet, so you can still movements. After they're 8 and 9 years old, this part will grow and it will be hardened. So they will not be able to see all the spirits from different worlds. So a lot of babies, they have the ability to see. After they're 8 or 9 years old, they can't see anymore. But some, maybe like Tyler, who has a psychic. She has a certain physics. And if you look at him, he's in his 20s. He will still be able to connect with the spirit. And some of them are very clear. It helps those seeking answers of the deaf. So that's why our understandings of the world, I think it opens your eyes to the world. What we cannot see doesn't mean that they do not exist. Actually, depending on the situation and scenarios, you may see things. Actually, for the spirits, doesn't mean that when a person passes away, the spirits doesn't exist. No, it doesn't work like that. It proves that in this world, there are many that we do not know. So we hope that we can help. I've observed a lot of deadly disease or sickness, like diabetes, or serious strokes, or even cancer, or pain, very strange disease and illness. It happens in a split seconds. This is like something that hit by something, and suddenly they have that illness. Some happens in seconds. So what is that? That is something we must learn. We must respect all, even the spirits of the dead. And that's why we always say that when a person passes away, we do not try to dig the past, otherwise we have problems. So let's be a magnanimous person, a generous person. Do we have a prize for them? This is animals in Canada. It is a type of whales. It's beautiful. So that's for the daughter. And we have one of this. from Songjue.
太吉祥了。
That's so auspicious. Wishing your whole family auspiciousness. Thank you, Master.
收到。师父，那刚才也说到这个阴灵啊，哈。
Master, we talk about some spirits and also some questions. We have someone from Malaysia, Lin Yueyun. She has own experience.
云师姐来给师父和大家分享一下。
好啊，欢迎欢迎。
师傅好。
Hello, Master.
你经历了什么样的故事？
What's your experience?
有了。之后我在我年轻的时候，
你慢慢
在我年轻的时候
The baby spirit. She's sharing the story of baby spirits.
跟先生打算结婚的念头。
When I was young, I want to get married with my husband. But before I get married, I was pregnant. But because we're a traditional family, I had an abortion.
我来，对，
堕胎了。
对对。
然后有结婚之后，
And after we got married,
有怀孕了。
I was subsequently pregnant again.
先生交到一般
But because my husband during that time
你先
has a
喝口水
bunch
好
of
了。
bad
我来
friends.
解释一下
Let me
她
try
的
to
这个
explain
对
her
她
stories.
给网友们大概讲一下的，刚才师姐说的啊，年轻的时候呢，就是已经
So
订婚
when she
了
was
但是
young,
还没
she
结婚
had
呢，结果不
she
小心被
already
先孕了，
she
不好
she
意思嘛
pregnant
就
before she
把
got married.
掉了。
So because
那
we were
结婚以
traditional
后呢
family, she had an
又怀
abortion.
孕了
After
可
she
是
got
先生这
married,
个时候交到
she
了
was
一帮坏
pregnant.
朋友
But at that point in
对
time, the
然后
husband
呢
mixed with a
就
group
哎
of
呀
bad
吃
companies.
官司了，吃
怎么着了？
官司了哈。
And
对，
there was a
就
legal
可能打官
case.
司。
被警察
哦
抓进
So he was
监牢
caught
了。
and
抓进
was
监牢。
caught and
你
was
先生
jailed.
啊
先生对入狱
The
了。
husband was jailed.
就因为这样关系，
And because of
我
this,
又再次的，
she had a second
因
abortion
为
because
婚姻
she
迷茫嘛，
because she was lost when the husband is
也
in
就是先
the
生
in
被
is
抓
in
走的时
jail.
候，你已经有了身孕，
对
但是呢，被抓进去之后，你立刻觉得没有前途了，
对，
所以呢，觉得没有前途，生宝宝的信心哪有啊？
So you lose confidence to have a child when the husband was jailed. So you had a second abortion.
先生
Yes.
就被在里面监狱
And
里
the
面
husband
表
was
现得
there
很不错，
because
一
the
年
husband
之
was
后
performing well in the
就
jail.
被解
So
放了
after a year and a
出
half,
来
释放
了
了。
啊
he was released from jail.
好，这个是原来的，就年轻时候的20多年前的事
This
情了。
happens 20 over years ago.
然后
And what happens after that?
2016年
So in
奇
2016,
怪的事情
strange
就
things such to
又发
happens
生在
to
先生
my
这是
husband.
时隔多年之后，
对
对，就先生就晚上都没有办法躺住
During
觉
at
的
night,
就不能
he
躺着
couldn't
睡。
sleep.
啊，为
对，
什么
He
呢？
couldn't lie down to
他
sleep
一躺下去就
Why？
感觉
because when he lies down, he felt that someone pulled the two
不
shoulders.
让他躺，
refused to let
对
him
就
lie
只
down
能
to
坐
sleep.
着睡觉
So he has to sit down to
那有
sleep.
人拉，那他手臂会痛吗？
就是
Did she
开始
feel
那
any
段时
pain
间
to his
他
arms?
的手臂就非常的痛，
Yes, the arms are very
哦，那
painful.
这种情况有多长时间
How
呀？
long did this last?
一年多吧
It。lasted for about a
一年
year
多
plus.
够受罪的呀。
Well, she must be in pain.
嗯，那还有呢？他心情怎样呢？
What about her feelings? And
就呆呆的，都不爱说话了。
哦，呆呆的不爱说话，
是的，
she didn't want to talk.
脾气也很古怪，
And he is very bad
会
tempered.
骂工人哦。
骂工人哦，就你们还是底下有雇佣工人的，
对对，
啊，是老板来的，哦，还骂工人。
And he always scold
好，
our
那就是
our
一年多
worker.
的情况这个样子。
So
那怎么
this
解决
condition
怎么办
lasted for
呢
more than a year plus? Yes.
来
嗯，
后来
后来你是不是就是有个
And after
你去
that, what
问了别
happens？
人是不
对对
是哈？
对，后来就有当时有听人说，我就去找一位道士了。
After that, I looked for a Taoist priest.
我就有带他。
道教的道士，
啊，对，道
要不然
教的。
我都听什么叫道士啊？
A Taoist
道
priest
士。
到庙里去的哈
to。the temple to look for to seek a Taoist priest helps.
道士了，他就一见到我的
The moment he saw my husband,
开始骂他了。
he started to scold him.
哦，道士
道
骂你
士
先生，
骂你先生骂什么？
What did he scold him?
说他不懂事啊，不会想。
He scolded him that he was very reckless when he was in his youth. And the Taoist priest said to the husband that there are two baby spirits, one boy and one girl, following him. So the Taoist priest can see the baby spirit. What did the Taoist priest say? So the Taoist priest advised us to chant the Earth Soul Bodhisattva's Sutra. I remember you say that your husband saw the baby spirit. What happens? One day, one night, he drank coffee at night. And in the coffee, he saw one boy, one girl baby spirits in darkness, being beaten by people in darkness. It is like image, like watching a movie image in a car. Saw this image. A boy, a girl, no clothes to wear, and being beaten. And after he saw it, he cried. Can he drink the coffee? No, he couldn't. And after that, I went to the center, and I started to offer lights. And I also accumulate merits, and I also chant for the two baby spirits. You did good. And what happened after that? When my husband was very painful, I even turned on Master's energy blessing music. Always go to the meditation center to offer lights on behalf of the baby spirits. I think you have very strong connections with Master. Yes. My husband saw Masters wearing the Buddhist robes and walked behind my husband. And after that, the pain disappears. Did you see what Master did to him? My husband saw Master's blessing him. And after that, the pain disappears. That's very auspicious. And what happened after that? After that, my husband didn't have any pain. What about the shoulder? The pain disappears. The shoulder's pain disappears. Can he lie down to sleep now? Yes, he can. So he doesn't need to sit down to sleep. That's great. So you said that he becomes very compassionate, very kind. Does he still scold his worker? No. What happened to his business? His business becomes very smooth. Because we have received Master's blessing. What business are you in? We take care of a vegetable farm. We are vegetable planters, farmers. In the past, it was not successful. And it's very difficult for us to find workers. But what about now? Now, a lot better. We get very good worker. Because you're protected by Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and everything is smooth sailing and auspicious. So I think she herself experienced the abortions. And I think that you have advised that now if you have abortion, what should you do? Now we all understood. Every time when there's abortions, we need to repent. We need to accumulate more merits for the baby spirits and to seek Master's blessings. 6 Buddhas, Bodhisattvas protections, so that they can be free and liberated from sufferings. And not only that, those livings will also receive auspiciousness and help. Very good. Very good sharing. Thank you, Master. So these baby spirits, if they are not liberated, those alive, the relatives that are alive, will continue the suffering, will have pain and suffering. Thank you for your sharing. So this for you. And for you and your husband, 8 treasure beads each. Buddhas, Bodhisattvas love you. Thank you, Master.
好，那师父，那接下来呢？又有台湾的一个很神奇的分享。
We have another sharing from Taiwan.
对对对，物理师姐你来讲。
好的好的，这是来自于台湾的小平网友。
This is from Taiwan 小平。
狼人的梦，狼人这个故事。师父好，我是来自台湾的小平。
In 2021, when I heard that Masters is going to the Guru Rinpoche's, the heart mantra, I started to tears. I'm not sure why. And during the live broadcast, the next day, after chanting this, I have a dream. I dreamt that I in the ancient kingdom, and it's like there's a huge big pond, like something really bad in that, and I need to go there to ward off the evil spirits. And there's a witch. They're wearing like a Japanese kimono. I felt that I am like a huge wolfman. And I felt that we are going to ward off the evil spirits. And then somebody called the witch name. And he said, if you can you help me to offer a big light? Actually, during that time, I want to have a birthday, and indeed I want to offer lights for myself. When I heard that, I was shocked, and I wake up because it felt so real and unimaginable. Because in the center, we can actually offer the big lamps. And before that, I seek a divine lot, and I said this is for Zi Wu, and I'm going to put Xiaoping name. Is it okay? Can I offer a yellow lamp for her? Is it okay? And I had a good divine lot. I even did some merits for her, hoping for her to be in a good place. After that, I asked Masters wishing divine lot, did she go to a good place? And it says that Buddha's light shined on her. So I feel relief. Recently, after listening to Master's live broadcast, I have a lot of realizations. Sometimes our past, we can still remember our past. When we forget, doesn't mean that we have not experienced it. I felt that I must have been a good companion with Zhu in the past. And this life, I have transformed to be a human being. And for her, she may be in somewhere still in the space. And she's just awaiting for an opportunity to offer light. And I'm very glad that I have the chance to meet Master. Master has helped me and helped my friends from my past life. Great gratitude to Grandmaster. Well, it's very interesting. Her past life, she was a wolfman. And she was a companion of a female purple witch. She was very touched when she heard about the Guru Rinpoche's mantra, heart mantra. Maybe they have seek help from Guru Rinpoche in past life. And that's why when she heard the chant, she felt very touched. Because she wants to help her friends from past life, Ziwu. And it sounds so crazy because it's so unreal. Because she even talked about they go into this big, vast black pond and they're going there to capture some monster together, and they are fighting together to capture them. As for her, she reincarnated to Taiwan. So in this life, is she a girl? In the past, wolfmen must be men. But Ziwu, the companion from the past life, could still be in the spirit forms, and that's why in the dream, ask her to help, to offer lights. So in the past was a witch, and after past one was not liberated. So seek out the friends, and the friends is learning the Dharma at Bodhi meditations, asking the friends to help, so that she can be free, so that her spirits can be free as well. Free from suffering. Because after that, Xiaoping has no dreams of Ziwu yet, but she went to pick a divine lot. And showing that as Buddha's light shine everywhere. So it's a very auspicious light. It's a very auspicious lot.
我现在说的时候，我也感觉到这个子屋哈，好像上去。
As we say that, I could sense that Ziwu is not elevated.
也帮他做了很多好事。
Maybe she has also done some good deeds in the past. So she is not a human being. She's probably in the next level of the heaven, becomes a heavenly deity. That's good too. So we must thank the wolfman Xiaoping for helping her companion of the past life to offer lights and do merits on Ziwu's behalf. So I have a picture of a wolf.
我送你一个小蓝狗哈。
So this is for you. A doggy that looks like wolf.
酷酷的小蓝狗。好。
好可爱。
还再送他一个这个牛角珠。
And also one of the Crescent-Shaped Dzi Bead. It's very beautiful.
因为前世是巫师哈。
Because in your past life, you were a witch. So this is continue for you.
像你吧。好，祝狼人小平健康快乐。
Wishing you health, auspiciousness, and longevities.
太好了，师父，您说这个命运真有意思。
Master, this is so interesting.
那是不是他的这个命就是？
Is it because for her, she's supposed to transform, or rather she's supposed to be reincarnated from a wolfman to a human being? Yes, I think maybe she has done a lot of good deeds in the past life. So it doesn't matter whether her past image is a wolf or human beings. But when in the past, during there's a period there's a lot of witch. It is a spirit form. It is not a belief, but totems. It is a little bit like some very young men said, "I'm very strong," or very young kids that says, "I'm very strong." They may not be that strong yet, but in their heart, they think of themselves as very strong person. It's a type of pursuit. So in the past, say for example in Canada, the native people, there are few tribes. And some of them have like they have whales, they have wolves, and there is also bear. So they pick those animals that are very strong, and it manifests their spirit form. What they want, it represents strength, courage. Nobody will want to make a shape as a totem. No. Why? Because shapes is very easily bullied by other animals in the animal kingdoms. So the belief needs to be something that is strength, that manifests strength and courage. We have watched some movies, and there's a Mongolian tribes that says that we are the descendants of God, and we will be able to conquer. So that is their belief. Or they may be saying something like, we are actually like a strong, like those Europeans. They say that they are like gods, descendants of God. And they consider themselves as descendants of God. That is a way of, it just represents a mental pursuit. It is the spiritual pursuit, and they want to pursue something that manifests strength and courage. Or higher up. And that's why all tribes, all different tribes will have their own beliefs, their own belief systems. So, Master, what about our life? In one life to another life, it's so huge difference. Is it possible for us to predict our future life based on what we do in this life? It is like we talk about we can see some spirit forms, like those children that can see some spirits, or like Tyler. Like Tyler in China, how many similar people in China? I think there must be at least 20,000 people. Some maybe because of the culture of the societies, or because of this impact, it will affect how accurate they can see, they can read the psychic. Well, for her, because he can see very clearly, he can, as long as the person pay money, he will try to read the psychic. So it is, the relationship is very simple. There's no other society barriers. But some, they may not see very clearly. Some can have some signals. Some may look for me and say, what happened to my child? Can you help me see where my child can go to universities? I see the image of the kids stepping into the universities. Well, how do I know that it is not what I imagined? And indeed, the child entered university. Some may say that, yes, because I don't know the person. I say, Master, can you see my child can go to universities? Or some may ask me, can my child go to the universities of the wish? I tried my best to imagine you going in, but why is it that you didn't? I say, well, forget about it. Just learn to be a carpenter or chef. Or you even become a realtor, real estate agent. You don't need certificates. You can do that. You can make good money as well. So maybe you don't go to universities because you are not those that's very academic. So everyone, when we see, is very different. So there are many people that are able to see. So there are people who learn about fortune telling. This
还有的人无门无派，我天生我
For
就
some
能
people,
感知
naturally don't even
到，而
need
且
to
感觉得
learn.
特别清楚。
They have
哎，
this
这
inner
有人天
sense,
生的具有这样
and
的
they
一
are
种
very
神通。
accurate. Some
那也有
people
部分经过这个
have
禅
that.
修之后，
For
自
others,
己开发
through
出
their
来
own
的都有。
cultivations, they develop this
啊，
aspect of the
那么
spirituality.
像这种情况啊，
For
像
people
这种
like
情况
this,
特别多。其
it's
实我
actually
们
very
在一些
common.
长辈这个过去的经历之中哈，那比如说很关心自己某个孩子，
So, for
我找这
example,
个
we like our
算命
children,
的
so
这
we
个
look for some
师傅
fortune
帮
teller
我孩子预测一下
to help to
我孩
predict
子的
the
未来。所
children's
以我相信
future.
每个父母都心中有一种盼望，对
I'm
不
sure
对？
all
望
parents
子
have a
成龙嘛。
wish. They
哎，
wish the kids
谁都
would
不
be
希望自己
good.
生了个孩子
Nobody wants a
是一个
kid
笨蛋哈，
to
是一
be
个没有用的
a
人。
dumb
所以
or
期盼的
useless
对他有
one.
个了解，那这样我好往那个方向去引导培养我的孩子。
So you want to
所以
nurture
通
your
常
kids towards
父
the
母都会
directions.
找这些先生帮着看一看。
So usually
这个
some
特别常
parents
见，
may seek
算
out
准
some
的特别
fortune
多。
teller.
我今天给大家介绍一位中国著名的导演哈，
I want to
叫郭
introduce
宝昌先生。
a director.
郭宝昌呢，一说这名字
郭宝昌
有些人不知道哈，但是有一个电视剧，多数中国人都
I'm
知
sure
道，
most people
叫
will
《
know
大宅门》。
This movie.
大宅门是一个非常
大宅门
经典的长篇电视
It
剧，
is a very
这是郭
classic
宝昌他
show.
写的剧本。这个剧本就是来自于
He
他的
wrote
家族
about
历史，
this, and it's
当
from
然里
his
头
own
肯定有
family
很多
history.
故事是发展了的
But
哈，
I think a
艺
lot
术
of
化的。
stories are
但
actually
是他这个家族历史，
there's some part that's
你讲到他的
unreal.
家族，全中国人不知道的人也很少。他的家族是什么人呢？
Who are his families?
是北京最著名的一个制药的老商号，觉珍应该知道啊，你在北
Jason,
京
you should know.
待
You
过呀。
stayed in Beijing for a long time.
对，
是这家呀？
当然了，
It is about
哦
Tong
最
Len
著
Tang.
名，尤其是因为在古代我们就不知道了，在当代这个号还在经营中。
Well, this
当然
is
可能
still
是现在由政府在
around,
经营哈。
but now
在过去来
maybe
说，
is controlled
人
by
家
the
家
government now.
这个老商号，
But in the
他家的
past,
主人姓乐，快乐
the
的乐，
owner of this is
哎，
Ler.
乐老员外家经营的。
The surname is
哎
Ler
他才是
family.
正宗的这个创始人，也
They
是
are the
正
one that
宗的
started 同仁
达
堂
到发达到发家到
And
放光的
They managed to
哎
expand
这样
this
的一个
business.
过
This is a
经营的过
medical hall. They expand
一
the
直经
traditional
营到这
medical
个
hall.
1960几年吧。
I think it's
是
about
他家
1960s.
最后后来文革发生了，
But because
当
of
然
the
就变迁
cultural
了，不一样
revolutions, they
哈
changed.
对，是姓乐，他
So
是
the
这个
initial owners is
同仁
actually
堂
Ler.
乐家收养来的孩子。
So this is a adopted child of the
这
Ler
位老先生
family.
呢，他呢，就是我是讲他去算命，
So he went to seek
他16
fortune.
岁的时候，青春期呀，他也读了很多书
He
呀，
studied a
啊
lot.
完了之后，就听人说，听长辈们说，哎，他在北京嘛，说某个地方有一位双目失明的
We talk about
算命
there is
先生，
this fortune teller
那
who
是
is
特别
blind.
准了。
He is a very
哎
accurate fortune
他一听
teller.
了之后，说那我也
And after that,
找他看看
he
我
said,
怎么
well,
样。
maybe I should seek him
哎
out to read my
因为
fortune.
年轻嘛，他读了很多现代的
Because he
书，
was very
所
young,
以
he
对
was
这
very
个
well read.
算命这件事儿的就不太相
So
信。
he don't really
因为年
believe
轻
in
人什么
fortune
都不信
telling.
的。
Actually, the youngsters,
哎
they don't believe in anything.
这个先生，你帮我算算吧。
And say,
一
well,
般就
can
是
you
你叫
help
啥名字？完
to
了
look
把
seek
你
my
的
fortune?
生辰
What's your
生
name?
辰
What's
时
your
辰
birth date?
告诉我，
And time.
这告诉
Tell
他
me
之后，
about
算命
it.
先生掐指一算，
And after that,
哎，他要是人家正算的时候，他只唠叨准不准啊？
and
不
he
准我不给
said,
钱哈。
is it true?
啊，
Are
虽然
you
我
good?
也不
Are you
缺
good? Are
钱
you
但是
accurate?
不准我就不给。
If
啊
it's not good, I
说
will not
嗨你
pay.
给不给算你的问题。我告诉你，小朋友，你自幼父母
And
双
say
亡，
that,
一听就愣
well,
了，如五雷轰顶一般。
when you're young, your parents pass
我
away.
们这老先生就是自幼父母双亡。
Indeed, this person from young
那么之
lost the
后呢，
parents.
经人介绍
And after
被
that,
乐家领养，
because
就是同仁堂老板
someone
乐家
introduced this
领养
child and was adopted by
领
the
养
Ler
就是
family
养父养母嘛，
of Tong Len Tang.
是这样子。
但不是他
进
身上。
入进入富贵豪门了。
对，
嗯，
那是北京乃至当时的中国首屈一指的大富人。
So
他
they
们家
used
的
to be
钱
the
有多少
richest
钱？只
person
能说
in
说
China,
哪
the
几条
richest
街是他
family
家的吧，就
in
在北京的
China,
就是
in
这么大
Beijing.
富大贵啊。因为 因为不管科技发不发达，对吧？当时中国科技也不发达的，
During
对不对？
that time,
人们也
technology
不
is not
富
very
裕，
developed in
但是
China.
病人那是源源不断的呀。他家不光是开药房，他是制药厂，
Not only
成为北方
the
地区
medical
首屈
hall,
一指的大
they
制药
also
厂。
have
他家有很多
they
著
also
名的药
have
物，对不对？
they
现
produce
在
a
我告
lot
诉
of
大家，
medicines.
其中有一个药物
It's
叫
like a traditional pharmaceutical
安宫
companies.
牛黄丸，这是我知道他家出的最好
Angkong
的药。
硫磺丸 is one of the
那现
best
在卖都是很
medicines.
贵的。
It's very
像
expensive.
一颗药丸哈，像这么大一个丸子，
One of this
这么大一
size,
颗药丸，那一颗$100，
it's $100 US. A size of
人民币
this
880。
is
大家在网上就能看
880
到哈，
RMB.
正宗同仁堂出的原始偏方制作的
Original
这
from
个
traditional
安宫牛黄丸
methods.
啊，800多，就是100
So
多
it's
美金
one-
，130左右的美金。
It's 100 over
就
US
这么贵，
dollar. This
一
is
颗药。
Angkong 牛
如果
黄丸.
你一天吃
It's
一
a
颗的
type
话，
of.
那你吃1个月多少钱呢？对不对？
If you have one every day,
这个药
how
挺
much
神
does
的
it
哈，
cost?
介绍给大家。它主要对心脑血管是很有帮助
It
的
is very
哈，
good
是
for
对于
heart
治疗和
disease,
预防这个中风之类的这个
preventing
疾病的，它
strokes.
是一个很有效的药
It
物。
is very, very
当时
productive,
在香港一
effective.
个凤凰卫视哈，凤凰卫视中一个女主持人叫什么来着？她有点名气来着，在法国遇到车祸，她就昏过去了。
Someone had an
昏迷不
accident.
醒，你上
One
网能查得到
presenters
的。
of a
快
TV
速上网查一下，
channels
就在法
has
国，
a
它
has
是
an
凤凰
accident
卫视的哈，
in
在法
in
国撞车了，撞车
in
他就
France had
车
an
都烂了
accident.
这个人被撞得昏迷不醒了，
and this
是个
person
女主
was
持人。
is a female
完了之
presenter.
后，法国的医生已经宣布，
The
已经就
doctor
是
from
停止心跳
France
脑死亡，已
diagnosed
经
her
宣布
as
死亡了。
叫刘
that
海若。
刘海
刘
洛，
海洛. Her name
已
is 刘
经宣布
海洛.
死亡了。
She was
可
already
是
pronounced it.
当时的我不是他的家人朋友就不死心，说
But
这
the
姑娘
family want
特
to
别好
try.
我们想方设法救活，说人都死了，就有人带去了
So
这个药
someone brought this
安宫牛黄丸，把它研开啊，用开水给它弄开之后，撬开嘴啊，给它灌进去，
and she take this
结果呢
medicines.
死而复生，
And she managed to
医生就
survive.
宣布死亡了，结果把它救活了，神呐，
Is it
就
amazing?
是这个药啊！
That is this
哎
medicine.
他没给我付钱，我给他替广告。
She didn't give me any money, but I
就是
am
但是
promoting for it.
我们不是为钱啊，
But
也
we
为
are
说
not here for
有这样
money.
需要的人呢，
It's just
如
that
果你有
someone
钱，你
you
也
have
备下几
needs.
盒，
If
是
you
不是
have
啊？
money,
还是有
you
好
just
处的
want to
当然，
keep
真
a
正使用
few.
的方法要看他家的说明书，好吧？
But to use
说
it, you
这个
must
是
look at
这
the
个同仁堂的著
you
名
must
的
look
药
at the
物之一，
instructions.
这只是之一药，它什么药都治。
So this is
啊
one
就
of
是这样
the this is one
一
of
个
it.
大制药厂。
They are a
所以呢，
huge
郭宝昌先生
pharma
到了他
company.
们家去之后，被领养之后，你想他大富大贵呀。
Well, after
一
she
步登
goes,
天
after
呐
he goes to the family,
好，
he
算命
suddenly
先生接着
changed
说，
because he's from a good, wealthy
先说了
family.
你从小
So
父母
the
双
fortune
亡，
teller says that
哦
from young, your parents
这
pass
家伙太
away.
准了吧？这吓死宝宝了。啊，
So she
完
was
了就
shocked.
一身冷汗，啊，就出来了。再接着说，你适合跟姑妈长大。
And say
他
that
把他的养母一直叫姑妈，
you
Hey.
you should be,
邪门儿吧？
you should grow up with your aunt.
还有
And that is how she
说
called
你
the
12
mom
年
who adopted
转
her
一次运，
and said that every
运气啊，
12 years you will have
运程啊。
change of fortune.
它是运程通常叫流年大运。什么叫流年？时间是流动的，
Because
流年大运
movements,
12
times
年
is
一转。
movements.
你
So
24
every
岁
12
进
years there's a
监狱，
change.
这听胡说八道。
I say
这个
what?
不信，
他16岁
他才16，
He
说
was
24岁
only
进监狱。
16 and said that when he turns
我们
24,
家
he
在北
will
京有
be
人敢惹
jailed.
我吗？
I said my family is
我
one
还
of the
进监
richest
狱
in，
这个
Beijing.
我不相信。
How can I ever go
还
to
早啊！
jail?
你要骗
So
我
he
啥
don't
嘛？
believe it.
哎，嗨，你信就信，不信拉倒。
And the fortune teller
完再
said,
接着
well, if
说。
you believe, you can believe. If you don't, it's up to you.
屋里有话的，
不是，我觉得
就听愣了。
对，就算到他24岁还进监狱的时候，你说这个郭宝昌听到这话，
Well, I'm
多
sure
晦
that
气
when
呀
he
是不
heard
是
this,
对
he
呀，
must be
谁都不
shocked.
希望说我的前程似锦呐，
对
对不对？
Because
你
he
净
must
说
be
一些让
thinking,
我不爱
I'm
听的
born
话，
into a wealthy
对不对？
family,
你
everything
是
will be
觉得
good.
你是嫉妒我们家富贵嘛？
嗯
啊，对不对？
嗯
当然，他没给算命先生说他是 现在是乐家的
But he didn't
养子。
say that. He didn't disclose to the fortune teller that he's one of the descendants of the Love family.
24岁进监狱这一段讲完，这一句讲完以后，再后面又说了他啥呀？
What did he
他
say
就问
after
先
that?
生啊，
So he
您
asked the
看看
fortune
我将
teller.
来
So what happened
能
to
不
me in the
能成为一
past?
个有钱人
Will
呢？
I become a rich
那
man?
算命先生仔细
And
擦
the
了
fortune
3分
teller
钟手指头之后，
took
告诉
a
他
while
小
and
子
said,
啊，我以为你是个富贵的，
I
你一
thought
来我
you-
觉得你是个富贵
I
的，
thought you were
可
a
是
rich man. When you
你与
see you, I
富贵
thought you were
无
a
缘
rich
呐。
man. But you have no connections
同
with
仁
wealth.
堂家里的人
对他
还没
已经是富家
还不
公子
富贵
嘞。
He's
所
already
以
a rich
咱
man's
们当
son.
年的小郭先生啊，就
也不
差点给
信吧
气笑了，
So he was so
对呀。
angry when he
不
heard
服
all
气
this.
哈。
说老爷爷，你
And
知道
he
我是
said,
谁
Well,
吗？
do you know who am I?
老爷爷说你是
And the
人，
fortune teller said, You are human beings.
你只要在我这算命，你的命就掌握在我的手中
Well,
啊。
if you let me
你是谁？
read your
我才不
fortune,
管你是
I don't
谁，
care who you are.
你
I'm
就是
just
没
reading
钱
your。fortune.
我
I'm
说
just
你没
telling
钱，
you
你
that
还
you have no
着什么
wealth.
急啊？但你知道我爹是谁吗？
Do
就
you know
差
who
点
my
说出
dad
这句
is?
话
He
来。
almost want to disclose the
用
father.
你沾不上你
But
爹
say
的光，
no. You will no
得不
way
到
that
你
you can
爹
get
你
the
爷爷的钱。
inheritance.
说不可能啊
Then！say not possible.
是我算的就是如
Well,
此
that。is what I count. This is
Ah.
what I read your fortune.
说实在，这孩子还是个文明人啊。如果脾气不好，就把
Well,
挂
for
摊儿给
those who
砸
are
了，把老爷
angry,
爷给打伤
they
了。
may
对不对
just harm the
但是
fortune
老爷
teller.
爷两眼失明，什么
But
都看不
this
见，连
fortune
光都看
teller
不见的人，
is actually a blind fortune teller.
就
He can't see.
给他
看不出他的穿着打扮呐、也看不出他的那个
So he
相貌
cannot see
气
his
质啊，都看不了
his wearing, his look.
再接着说
No,
哈
it's，through his sense.
说你不但沾不上光，
And he continued, the
是
fortune
吧
teller
你还为
continued.
此惹来的麻烦。
Not only that,
24岁进监狱，可能与这事儿有关系。
you
是吧？
will be jailed maybe because
64
of your
岁
family.
我就算不下去了。说你要有点发点光发点热，你也得60岁以后，
You need to be 60
还有
years old
算到
before
64
you
岁
can't
没有结果了，没
you
法算
can't
了。
you can change your
是不
fortunes.
是就是
And after
人
that,
你说
I do not know what
寿数就到
happens.
当时
I
小郭就
cannot
说
count.：“
那我就死了吗
Does it mean？” you
老先
died?
生说：“一般我算不下去，就是他死的日期。
No, usually when I cannot
就有可
count
能死
means
了。
that very likely
说
that
这
you
我就
will
想
die.
活着，有什么办法告诉让我活着呀？那只有去积功累德，
What must you do
多
to
行善，
accumulate?
多积德。是
You
吧
only need to. You
如
will
果
have
说佛
to.
菩萨护佑你
You
的
will
话，
have
这个东
to
西
accumulate
是有
merits.
可能的。
It's very likely that Buddha,
这没那份功德，我也
if
不
it's
知道。
very
反
likely
正
that
算到
Buddhas
64
and
岁，
Bodhisattvas may
我
want to extend
没
your
有任
life,
何的
but
图
that's
像
something that I
出现了，
cannot count. It's
我
not
只能
part
跟
of
你
my
说到这
fortune
里。
telling. I cannot read that.
啊，但是对一下郭宝昌先生的问题哈，
对，那他真实的命运
So
是
let's
怎样的呢？
Use what the
24
fortune teller
进监狱
read
了，
to
文
the
革
real
来了
life of
坐牢
this
了。
Guo
啊
Baochang.
是文革，
文
So
革呀，
indeed, 24 years
他
old,
家
he
的
was
出身
jailed
呢，
because it was cultural revolutions, because of his family
虽然
background.
在
He was
战争
jailed.
期间，他们家捐了很多的
Although
钱，
during the war, the
但
family
是
donated a lot
文
of
革来了
money.
之后都不认的。
But when cultural
都一
revolution
起打。
happens, everyone is a
富贵
commoner.
的没
The
弄死就不错
wealthy,
了，是吧？
they are
哎
even more.
就是进
They
监
suffer
狱呀
even more. And that's why he
关
was
12
jailed
年
when he was 24
哎
years old.
那
And he
么
was jailed for 12
36岁的
years.
时候，
So when
这个
36 years
对
old,
文革一来哈，他家一抓，他们家的家产全被没收，
so during the cultural
有些家具
revolutions,
什么
all
东
the
西该
fortunes,
抬的抬走了，
they
该
have
砸掉了
nothing.，
是这样。工厂也不归自己了。那时候
The-
文革期间
the-
哪有自家的工厂啊？谁家工厂也
No
没有
one
这
owns
是个历
any
史事实吧？
factories.
对吧？
All becomes common
还有呢？
items.
又是12年哈。
So
36
12
岁，
years later, at 36 years old,
邓老先生邓小平上台，
during
给
the
所有
Deng
的
Xiaoping era,
这种情况的哈哈，过去富贵呀，还有老知识分子、老教授给抓进坐监狱的，全部平反昭雪
he，
官复
actually
原职，
released all
他
this.
这个释放出来了。
So he
平反了。
released all these people from
哎
jail.
钱还是
因为
没
So
有
he
找
was
他
freed
没有犯罪嘛，
because
可
he
是那个
didn't
时候
commit
就
any
平反了之
crime.
后，那多大的财产了？按当时论一算的话，也得超过10个亿，对不对？那政府能给10个亿吗？政府也没那个钱。对
During
不
that
对
time, he
这
has
就没
great
给嘛
fortunes, but
就
at
是
that time
无
the
罪释放
government
嘛
was very poor.
只是你
So
恢复了
he
自由之
couldn't
身。
he couldn't gain
对不
any
对？
fortune back. He
那
just get his freedom
完了
back.
之后再混。
And
就
after that, 12
48
years
岁
has passed.
他到了
48
中国
years
南
old.
方最南方
He
的
went to
城
the
市深圳，
southern part of
开始闯
China,
世
which
界，
is
就 闯到这个电影制片厂。
So he entered the filmmaking industries.
这是48岁。
That's
再
48
加上
years
12
old.
岁，是
That's
多
12
少岁啊
years later.
？60岁，
He was 60
60
years
岁
old.
拍摄了他
And
自己
60
写的
years
剧
old,
本《
he
大宅门》，
directed
一炮
the
打红
books。that he wrote, 大宅门.
当时中国的著名的导演、著名的演员都在里面跑龙套，当小跟班跟着跑，所以因为大家都很敬佩郭老先生的
Because
为人
everyone
好
respect
和
him.
他对人的那些好，他帮了很多人。
He helped many people.
虽然那个时候他也没有大红大紫，没
Although
有
he
发
was
财，
not
但他喜
very, he
欢
was
帮
not
人。
rich and with
啊，
great
你想
fortune,
呢？
but he
当年
he has
的
a, people has
中
a
国
lot
最
of
著名的
respect
导
for
演
him.
呢，那个
Some very renowned
张艺谋
director
啊
like 张艺谋,
冯小刚、
冯小
刚，
刚,
他们都在里面跑龙套，就扮一个小角色，
they
就是这样
actually
都去帮忙。
participated
姜文
in that
著名的演
show.
员都在
Even
里面
Jiang
跑龙
Wen, a
套，
very popular,
就是这样的。
famous
所以
actor
郭宝
in
昌老先
China.
生都提携过他们，
Because
支持
都
过他们
帮过他。
He has helped all these people
是这
before,
样的。
so all helps him
那么
when he
现
tried to
在
direct
郭老先生82岁，
the 大宅
还
门.
健在，
哎，等一
He's
下，但那
82
64不
years
是有
old
一关吗
and he's still alive.
那一关过去
So
了。
what happens? He managed
度过
to
了。
he
所以他
managed to
深
clear the
究
hurdle
这
at
个算命老
64
先生的时候，老先生说：“我算到这儿算不下去了。
because
没
the
有
fortune
呈现
teller
任何
says
东
that
西
he
啊
can only
说我想
read
多
until
活呀，说多
64.
活，除非
So
你去
the
皈依
only
到
reason
佛
that
菩萨
he
那里，
can
对
can
吧？你的
extend
命
his
说不定
life
能改，但是改命
is
太难
only
了。
if
而我
the
没见几个人
Buddhas
改
or
命，
Bodhisattvas helped
但是
him or he has
他64
accumulated
岁过去
enough
了，前面都是
merits
准的，
to extend his
就是
life.
64岁
So
他
if
就
you
闯
look
过
at
去了。如
how
果
the
闯过去
fortune
的话，
teller
他
read
可以
his
活很
life,
大岁数。
the fortune teller was
对，
very
现在你看都
accurate.
是延寿期。
And now
所以老郭
he
先
has
生现在就
extensions
说：“
of
我
his
现在
life.
多活一天，我就赚了一天，
And
还
that's
特别
why he
快
said
乐。
every day I
好玩
live,
哈。
I
所以
gain a
他那
day.
个电视剧哈，当时在我们中国引起了
During
一个
that
巨大
time,
的轰动。
it was a
我
great,
也看了，
it
就
was
是
a
当
great
时是
movie. It
电
was
视
actually
剧
a great
拍摄
show.
制作之中用的最高清，用的最多的中国知名的导
They
演
used
和
the
演员，
the
哎，投
maximum
资用
number
的
of
费用最高，
renowned directors
啊，就是这样的。
and
所
actors
以
and
它有
actresses.
很多优质的东西推出来。
There's a lot of
就是
good
一
things
炮
that
走
comes
红
from it.
你现在上网都能搜到这个影片，
You can
还是
even
好
search for
看的。
this. It is very good to
啊，
watch.
后来我一听说有人说拍成电影或者新拍一版都
I
有这
heard
个说
that
法。
there's a new
挺好的。
version. I thought it's very good.
嗯，
想看一看。本身这个
It's a
同人
drama
堂这个大
series.
家族啊，
嗯
其实我们都是非常的耳熟能详的，
对，
能够了解到他们这样大家族的一个兴盛，
嗯
就是兴衰这种发展
Yes,
史，也
the
是大家
stories
很感
about
兴趣
how
的
the
一个话
rich,
题。
嗯
而
the
且就是
family,
郭老先生也是把自己
the
的
story
很
of his
多
family.
在这个大家族里的见闻呐、其实很多的都是真实的这种一
A
种
lot of it is
嗯
actually
戏
real
剧
from
化的
his
这种
own
表演
experience.
对大
是，
家是非常有吸引力
对
的。，
我也相信他积了很多德，
I'm sure
因此
that he
他
has
顺利
also
闯过了
accumulated a lot
64这一
of
关，
merits.
是吧？啊，还健康、幸福、快乐的
And
活
that's
着。
why he's still living
嗯
very well in
那
his
我们总
80s,
结
into
一
his
下就是算
80s.
命算得准的是有的，也就是说人的这个命运
嗯
它是本来都写好的
对
程序的，
是，
但
对
是呢，如果是积功累德，
嗯
多帮人做善事，
对
是可以
I think that
把
indeed,
命
if we
改
do
好
a
的
lot
甚
of
至延寿的，
we
是
do a lot of
哇
good
这个启
deeds,
发太
对
you'll
大
be
了
able
郭
to
老先生
extend
是
life.
现在的，
对，
这
郭
件事儿是他自己说出来
This
的，
stories is
所以
actually
这个东西他也
shared
不
by
会撒那
him.
个谎，
对
没必要为一个
Well,
算
in
命
his
先生
80s,
来证明什
well,
么。
there's no reason why he
嗯
need to lie about this.
就是说人的这种预知能力哈，有的他就是或者会算或者会看的哈，
And that's why we
他
say
看得
that
特
some
别
people
准
they
的
have
他叫
ability to read the
铁
fortune.
口直断，啊，就是我就是说就有这个灾，因为他真算出来了，因为他经过了很多事实证明他算的是准的，所以这样的算命先生他就敢直接说，
Some
就是这样
fortune teller, because they are
有
very
很多啊
experienced, they dare
也
to
没经过
say,
验证就不敢说的太死了，是吧？说24你要进监狱，说可能到时候有点灾，你可能会这样说，但是不敢说就24进监狱，
真怕被人咒啊！
不是被人揍的问题，就是怕说不准嘛，自己也没有底气。
some people,
对不对
because they are not so
但是
sure,
有些
they may not
算命
want
师
to
和预
commit
测
to
大师，
what
他真
they
的
read the fortune.
看得很清楚。
But for
确
some
认了这
fortune
一点
teller,
他
they are
就会
very,
直接
very
告诉你
clear.
就是这样的，好玩吧？所以人
Because of
类
the
这个
experience.
未来的这个命运的问题哈， 乃至世界的命运问题，就是地球未来的命运如何，也
What's
有
the
观察
future
家
of
一直在观察
Earth?
在看着。
Actually, a lot of scientists
今
are
年明
also
年有什
reading
么
it.
大灾吗？
Like what's going to
不是
happen
也有
next
人在
year?
看吗？
Is there any
对不对？
calamities
所以
next
有
year?
很多是
Or
很有
some
准确的。
disasters next year? There's a
你
lot
看，
of
所以有人
scientists
还
are
预
trying to
测
predict the
英
futures.
国英女王是吧？哎，对她逝世这件事情，那位
Some
英国一
also
位通灵
accurately
者已经早
predicted
看到了，
predicted
早
the
就
Queen
说了，
Elizabeth
连月份都
death.
说清楚了，
Actually,
甚
a
至说她可
psychic
能是死
from
于什么
Britain
病都说了，
was
很厉
able
害
to
的。
predict that
但是
even
多
at the
数人是
beginning
不
of
知
the
道。
years.
嗯，
师傅，那听了您讲的这个名人郭老导演哈，
对对
他的这个神奇的这算命之说，我也跟您分享一个
Master, after
来
hearing
自于
this,
我们身边
I
的一位
want to
师姐，
share
纽约的池前师姐，
one
她
of
那个时候也
our
请人算
慈
过命，
前师
但是
姐
呢，不是给她自
stories.
己，给她的养女算了一个
She
命，
did that for her
算的那
adopted
个也
daughter.
叫铁口直断呐。哎，
哦，
咱也来听听哈。
Let's listen to a
好
story.
的，我们池前师姐家说，我们家
She
附近啊有一个佛寺旁边，
Near
有
our
一
house
位
there
失
is
明
a
的老
temple,
太太，她
and
的祖
there
辈
is
啊都
a
是算命的。
an old
我的
lady.
女儿
The
女儿
pa-
是养女，
She is
我教
actually
养
from
她
a
也是
born
费
into
了
families
好
of
大的
fortune
劲儿。
telling.
10几岁，她就跟一群男孩子混在一块儿，
My
为了让她学
my
习，
adopted
我
daughter,
也花了好多钱，但是都学无所成。到了她20
has
岁
me
的
to
时候，
bad
我想
company.
给她找个婆家嫁出去，
And
这样就拿她的生辰八
when
字去
she's
帮她
20 years
算
old,
卦了。
I want to find
这
a
位
family
盲
for
人
her
算
to
卦的
marry.
老太太说
So I bring
你这个
her
女儿啊是
birth
远
date
嫁的命，
to this
她是
to
个
this
云游
fortune
四海
teller.
的命。
This
落不到
blind
咱们
old
这个
lady
城
said
市
that
的。
she
她
will
嫁的
be
这个
she
人啊，
will
跟她有3世
she
姻
will
缘。
have a
这
marriage
次
with
是他
some
俩的
people
最
in the
后一
foreign
世。
land.
她一开始呢会过得不错，
And said that
但
in the
是她
beginning she
30
will
岁
have
那
a
年
good
会有一个大劫。
she will have a
如
good
果过得
marriage.
去，他们这一世就会有一个完美的结局，白头偕老。
But she
这
will
个劫
have
如果过不
obstacles.
去的话，
If she's
那
able to
么
clear
就
the
会早早
obstacles,
地
she will
结
have a
束
good
这
life.
3世姻缘。哎呀，听了他这个话哦，这个我们的池前师姐
But
说
afterwards,
那
she
怎
will
么弄
not.
那就赶紧托人给他找物
So
色
after
这
I
个
heard
姻缘
that,
吧。
I said,
就
let's
在
try
网
find
络上给他
someone
女
to
儿物
find
色
a
了一
good
位看
husband.
上去还算不错的
We
美
find
国白
someone,
人。
a white
这个
American man.
哎，
We
真
think it's
的
not too
呢
bad.
他这个美国白人啊，比我女儿大8岁。
She's older than my
刚开
daughter
始
by
我女
8
儿
years
不
old.
愿意，
Initially,
但
my
是她
daughter
整
don't
天
like
和一
her,
些男孩混在一
and
起，
she's always
我
mixed
怕
with
她
some
走邪
guys.
路，就
I'm
说
afraid
着
that she'll take
还
on
是
the
要想
wrong
让她
path.
去嫁人了。
So I told her I
你
want
说
her to
这
get
事儿也真
married.
是的哈，我女婿很喜欢我女儿，
My
因此他们
son-in-law
就稀
loved
里
my
糊涂结
daughter.
婚了。
So
还记得我
afterward,
女
they
儿
got
跟我说
married.
哎呀妈哎，可真怪哦！我跟他在一块儿
I should
走
say
到哪
that
儿
I'm not
就
sure
好像我
why.
以前曾
Like
经跟他
every
去
time
过
I
一
walk
样。
with him, it seems that we've been to the
在
place
结
before.
婚的头2、3
The
年
first 2-3 years of
我
the
女儿就
marriage,
像变了
she's
一
like
个
a
人
changed
似的，
person.
不像以前那么
In the
不懂
past,
事儿了，
she
完全以
she's
家
not
庭为
so
中心。
now
而
she
且
becomes
婚
someone
后
that's
6
very
到7
homey.
年，他们的日子过得
And they
风
married for
生
6 to
水起，
7 years.
非常的
They
幸
live
福
a
美
very good
满。
life.
直到有
And
一
one
天
day, my
啊，
daughter
也
was
就是
about
女儿
30
30岁
years.
了啊，我先生的
My
外孙女
husband's
想要来美国念书，
My
她
husband's
在一所
niece
大
want to
学
study
做
in the
老师。
US.
好，我们再
She
来回
works
看一
in
下
the
当时那个算卦
universities
的
as
老
a
太太是
teacher.
说什么？说她女儿
So
30岁那年会有一个大劫哈，
my
但是我们的师姐那个时候没想到，她就说
So she
先生的
thinks
外
that,
孙女要
well,
来美国
since
念
it's a
书，
relative,
那
I will need to help
当
her.
然因为是亲戚嘛，所以我要帮帮她呀，就借给她钱，
So she lent
也
her
帮她
money
办了手续来美
and
国。
help her to
然后还
prepare the
安排她
documents
住
to
在
come
我
to
女
the
儿
US
家，
and arrange
住
for
进
her
去
to
以后
live with
灾
my
难就
daughter.
来了。
But
我这个
disaster
外孙
came.
女的英文
My
特别
this
好，
niece
就把
is
我
very
的
good
女
in
婿啊
English.
给勾引走了。
And as a result,
刚开始我女儿跟我说的时候，我说不相信，这些事情都
she
是电
started
视剧才会
relationships
发生
with
的，
my
怎么还发生在我
son-in-law.
们老百姓身
I
上
was
啊？
shocked. How did it happen to
真
my
的是不
family?
敢相信。
This
最
is
后我
something
亲
that I
眼看到
cannot
我外
believe
孙女勾引了
because
我的
I
女
saw it with
婿
my，own own eyes. From then on, my daughter, happy family, happy marriage ends. And then my daughter said to me, Mom, have you forgotten? This is all because of you. I hate you. I said, what happened? And my daughter said, do you remember we went to the fortune teller? The fortune teller says that I will have these obstacles when I was 30 years old, and you want my cousins to live with us. And suddenly, I remember what the old lady said. After so many years of happy marriage, I've forgotten about this. I was so upset and really hurt my niece. And I even wanted to buy a gun to kill her and commit suicide. As a result of that, I suffer depressions. And because of this, my husband died of depression, because that is his own niece. 2013, I went to New York. Because of my heart disease, I actually I went to a cardiologist clinic. And when I was there, I saw the magazines. As a result, I stepped into Bodhi meditations. I became a disciple, and I allowed my daughter to take leaves and come to New York to join a chanting class. And after that, my daughter learned to have gratitude. And she'll tell me, Mother, you helped to raise me up. And after we joined Bodhi, our life completely transformed. Every year, I will offer flowers and fruits and I also participated in many classes. And no matter what, I tried to listen to Master's teachings again and again. I let go of hatred. And I started to chant for my enemies with compassion. I want to thank them to have the opportunity to bring obstacles to my life, and that's why I have the opportunity to meet masters. And after that, my boss helped my daughter to buy a very nice space and a very nice house in Miami. And she found a very good husband. And he said what the fortune teller said that my daughter is very kind, and she will accumulate a lot of merits. When you're old, you'll be able to have this fruit of success. Well, the fortune teller is so accurate. Although these things cause a lot of pain initially, but it allows me to gain liberations of my spirituality. I already forgive them. Master, everything happens because I become a disciple. You have taught me deeply the Dharma. And because of this pain and suffering, and I learn a lot, and I learn about the karma. And I said, so many years, if there's no master, it's very unlikely that I still survive to today. We'll follow masters for the rest of our life. Thank you, masters, for guidance and protections, so that my daughter and I can gain liberations in this life and gain enlightenment in this life. And my daughter says that 2 years later, she will come to New York with my son-in-law, and she will intend to be a volunteer at Bodhi Meditations. I'm full of thanks to Master. I love you, Master. This is a great story.
哇，真的神奇哈！
这也是一个真是被铁口直断的算卦的老太太算准的命运啊！
对，我们回忆一下。
She's so accurate. The fortune teller is so accurate.
说是中国的开封。
开封哈，开封包公所在地啊。
开封 is where 包公 is.
老太太哈，也是看不见事的哈，双目失明的。
So this fortune teller, this old lady, is also a blind fortune teller.
啊，30岁。
So she also said that at 30 years old, something is going to happen.
又是远嫁，那不到了美国了吗
？Firstly, she said that the fortune teller says that she will marry someone from far.
就是三世哦，
他们前三世都是
三世姻缘完了，待了几年就没了，就跑了。
这一世是最后一世，
这就是了缘分。
So this is the final of their relationship was last 3 lifetimes. So till this life, at 30 years old, that's the end of their. Because you no longer owed him anymore, the first husband, because when you start to hate, there's no more love.
旅通外国，汉奸啊，这你就恨他了。
我来分析一下，师傅，就是我们那个师姐一听到，哇，这个算命老先生算了这个 30因为而且当时他的女儿的现状是什么呀？就跟男孩子一起混的嘛。
And during that time, the daughter was always with
了
some guys.
赶紧嫁。
So that's why the mother wanted to get her to get married.
就在网上给女儿找。
So she managed to find a husband through the internet, and she found someone, a white man.
当时这个女儿呢没看上。 觉得可能嫌他大。
Well, maybe that time the daughter didn't really like him probably because he's much older.
这个女婿特别爱
But this son-in-law loved the daughter very much.
没见过世面。
是，这就是前世姻缘。
And that's because of destiny from past life.
是。
哎呀，你说这个人海茫茫，中国和美国都
Can you imagine, like from China and US, it's so far, and because of internet,
这老太太也不
they
简单
managed to get them to get married.
咱师姐不是一般人，
真不是一般人，就让这个女婿自投罗网给投进来的，这都是。
他俩有缘哈，一牵这个线，俩人就来电了。
真的。
再想分开不可能。
So through internet, her daughter married this American guy, white man.
是执行着命运的指引。
对。对，也叫鬼使神差吧。
这命。
这老太太能上网帮女儿找对象，而且对方还特别喜欢。这就是命啊。
So this is really destiny for her to meet the first husband.
哎呦，这30岁。
And then when she turned 30,
师姐早忘了，因为
actually they forgotten about this incident
生活得很好。
because they lead a very happy life.
所以那个我们师姐早就把30岁这一节的
So she completely forgotten about what the fortune teller said about the 30 years old obstacles.
就忘了啊。
30岁
来一个人。
And then,
这个劫难来的时候，你是看不出的。
when the bad things happens, you can't see it. If it's predestined, you can't see.
要到美国来留学。
Because the husband's niece want to come to the U.S.
对。
So they thought that well, they're
防不
cousins.
胜防。
So when you have a thief in the family, it's hard for you to avoid.
对，你不防范的人，结果犯事儿。
对，谁都想不到这一点。
No one could have imagined
很
that.
多把你老公给撬走的都是闺蜜呀。
A lot of time,
亲妹妹
it's the good
干
friends
妹妹、表妹、堂妹。
or some relatives.
二姐多了，都是离你最近的。
The one closest
防到这个表妹是她生命中大劫。 结果
that steal your husband.
丈夫给勾引跑了，就撬了，婚姻就黄了，他们就离婚了。
那是表妹也是这个命老天派来的呀。
哎呀，就是。
So maybe the cousin is also sent by heaven.
就是你到这儿，反正总要
了个缘的。这个了个缘的起因就是他的表妹。那这个表妹也有跟这个男的也有他自己的姻缘吧？我觉得是，
当然。
Maybe the cousin has some relationship with the husband.
所以
That's what we
我想问师傅，因为女儿
So we want to ask. The daughter said, "I hate you, mother, because you are the cause of all this. Why do you forgotten that at 30 years old I will have this? Why do you bring my cousin here?"
就又是他妈做这个事儿，
对，
他妈又沿着命运的往前走了一步，
对，牵了一根线，然后又剪上那么。
So the mom
我想问的
start
是，是不是
tie the
他妈
knots
当时
and cut the
没把
knot.
他表妹送到他们家来，他是不是能够？
So my question is, if the mom
是不是
never
他们
let
周
the
围就没有
cousin
人
come,
类了，而且没有母性的人类的？
would that happen to
有
her?
吧？哎，这个事儿早晚要出的。
So I think these things will happen
对，这
eventually.
叫肥水不流外人田啊。对，但是。
所以池浅师姐的女儿，你就想透了啊，也不用再，这不是妈妈的。
It is not because of the mom. It is
其实
destiny
我
that.
说了之后，会让他们觉得会有点安慰哈。
Actually, after I say this, they
我
probably
们
feel
假设
at peace.
我们来安排下这个剧本哈。
Let's just plan
你
this
们家这老外
script. You have
没有
this
被你表妹
foreign
给撬走，就
son-in-law.
撞车死了。
If he died because of an accident,
那还不如撬走。
你选择一
Let
个
me
被
ask
撬
you.
走还是撞死？
which one you choose? You want to have your cousins to steal your husband, or you want your husband to die?
这个人哈，我还是不希望他死吧。
I think if I love the person, I don't want the person to die. I
不
want
用
at
死
least.
这样撞了一下没死，半身不遂
Or
抬回
if
家里。
he had an accident and he
但你
did
可能还
die,
不如
but
死
he
了算了，
become
对
a
吧？
veg.
那
You'd
倒
rather
是
he die, isn't it? What would be your choice?
至少他不跟我，人家
Well,
还
I
能
think
健
that
康
if
地
he's not
其
with
实
me, he
最
can be
好的
healthy.
最好的
I
结
think
果
the
还是
best
让他
possible
表妹撬走。
outcome is that the
想来想
cousins,
去还真是。
it's the
对
cousins that
最好
steal
的
the
安排，
husband.
实际
That's
上。
still the best possible outcome.
对吧？你可以往几种这个结果，你自己
You
根据
can
剧本，你觉得
imagine
这
these are
还
the
是一
three
个
possible
非常的
outcomes.
天衣无缝的一个美丽的故事。
This is still a good story.
池显师姐，你也别后悔或者是内疚。
So do not feel bad
对
about
对
it.
但是有点可怜的是池显师姐的先生。
But I feel that it's the husband that's pitiful
那是他先生的命运的。
because that's the husband life.
所以要早点学菩提禅修，
That's why you
也
need
不
to
至于
learn
郁闷
Bodhi
死。
meditations.
对呀，
If you
你
learn
菩提
Bodhi
禅修，
meditations,
不管
you will
发
not
生
die
啥
of
事，
depressions.
第一能
Because
吃得下
no
饭，
matter what, you
第
can
二
still
能睡得
continue
着
to
觉。
eat.
对，能
You'll be able to
活着
sleep.
留
对
得青山在，不怕没柴
而且
烧。
还
对
能转念，就
对
这个事儿
And
也
it's
不坏
important for you
好
to
嘛那
change
死
your
了
thought.
忘
对呀。
记吧就
When you
自己学
change
着
your
编个
thoughts, you
不同的
change your
剧本
life.
就能解释
You
清
try
楚。
to have
那个
different
池显师
scripts
姐
for
真的
yourself,
挺
for your
绝的
life.
她说如果不
And
是
will
因为
have
这个
different
困难的
outcome.
这个事情的话，人生烦恼我还进不了菩提嘞。对
Yes, indeed. She has
这我都不知
final
道咋接这话
realizations
了。
that if it's not because of all this pain and
这
suffering,
我也不能说恭
she
喜
will
你啊，
not
这
be
是
able to
是吧？
join Bodhi
哎，
meditations.
这就
I
因
cannot
缘。
say to
所以
congratulate
你走
you.
每到
It's
每一步，
just
跟你
just
出国
this
一
is
样，
just
是
your
吧？你没有
fortune.
想到，
When
哎，
you
出了
leave the
国，在
country,
国外有这样
you
的
never
故
know
事发
that in
生。
overseas you will
在
have
国外
this
又认识这么多
experience.
的朋友，
In
在国外
overseas,
又来
you
到
have
菩
a
提禅
chance to
堂，
meet different
啊，
friends. You have a chance to
还
get to
有
know about Bodhi
你也没想
meditations.
到今天会获一
You
个大
probably
奖。
don't know that you will have a grand prize.
哇哦，
Wow, that's the grand prize for her.
那真没想到。
Oh, that is indeed a
请恕我
surprise.
有掌声。
哎，没想到哈，
没想到。
我也没想到，
I didn't thought about
我
this.
什么时候这么大方？
Since when I
啊，
become so
我觉得他的故
generous?
事特别好玩。
But I think the stories is
嗯，
very
特别好玩。
interesting.
对，
对，哎呦，感恩师傅。
故事精彩。
Thank you,
而且池显
Master.
师姐其实
So-
个人修的还是挺好的。
I think she
对
has good
她还是蛮
realizations.
解脱的。
是
嗯，
而且他后面哈，师傅还讲了，他后面其实女儿啊，
And she
也
also
把这
shared
个
that
仇恨和冤结都
放
解开
下了
the
了。
daughter have
然后
let
她
go
女儿
of all
现在
this
又找了
hatred.
个先生，跟她
And
是
the
非
daughter
常
now
好
has
的
found a
情
new
色和
husband.
谐，对池前师姐是很孝顺的。
And it's very
所以就像
filial.
你师傅以前讲的，
It's just
他
that
说别
Master
伤心，
says that
后面还有
don't
更好的。
worry, a better one
那
is
就是师
awaiting
傅
you.
讲的这个道理。
I think this is what
就
Master
千万别
says.
丧气，
So
不要
never
以
give
为
up.
前面这个男
Don't
人
think
叛
that
变了，
The
你觉得
person
人
is
生就走
bad
到了
and
终
then
点
your
啊
life is
不是这样
reached
子
the
的，
end point. No, it
就
is
是
not
一
like
个更
that.
比一个好，
The next
好吧
one will be
再接
better.
着往下找啊，能不能找就看你有没有生活
Whether
的
you
兴
can
趣，
find a
对
good
不
one.
对？这你看你
Well,
女
it
儿
depends.
又懂事又漂亮
Look at
又
your
可爱，
daughter. She's
是不是啊？
beautiful.
找个
She
对象
is
这个很
very
容易的
easy
事
for
情
her
啊
to。look for a new
对，
partner.
所以这真是哈，你这个孩子懂事，将来能帮你养老，
So this
成为一个陪
this
着你走
daughter
向未来
will
的
be
这样一个
able
好女
to
儿哈。
will be
对，我
able
也
to
相
be
信
by
你
your
这个新
side
的
even
姑
when
爷
you're
是
old.
特别的懂事
And I think that your
啊，
this
疼爱你的女儿
son-in-law
啊。
is someone that's very sensible,
我
love
送
your
你一把
daughter,
扇
and
子，
make sure
送
that you
你
have
3
good
颗，
life.
送
And
你
I
6
have
颗吧
3.
，6颗。
Oh, I'm going to give you 6
就顺便
beads.
给纽约禅堂那边也分几颗吧
You，can give a few to
那就
New
给
York
10颗好
centers.
吧。
哎呦
So I'll give you 10.
感恩师傅
Thank you,
恭喜
Master.
池前师姐，也恭喜我们纽约禅堂。
Congratulations to our New
这样
York
一会儿数
centers.
10颗给他们
You
哈。
just count
但
10
是这
and
个
give
扇
it
子
to
哈
them.
是给池浅师
But
姐
this
的
is for 池浅
好了，
Sister
恭喜
池浅
池浅
这也是姻缘
This
哈。
is also
感恩师
fate.
傅。
美好
Thank you,
的
Master.
嗯，
好开心，好兴奋。
对，所以这个人生这个转来转去哈，
So
有时候
all
是
this
畜生
life
转成人，
turn is
但是还有
sometimes
再
from
走了就退
animals
化了。
reincarnated to
人转成畜生。
human beings. It is also
但是
likely that
有一
human
天
beings can
有
be
一个人说：“师傅，
reincarnated
你祝福我
as
吧。”
an
我现
animal.
在身体有点
Somebody may say to me,
年龄有
Master,
点大
please
了，身
bless
体不太
me.
好，
I'm
不知道哪
quite
天
old.
死了。
I'm not sure when
啊
I'll
哎
die.
师傅，那个你觉得我死了去
Master
哪里
Judin,
啊
where should I go when I
我说那你
pass
喜欢
away?
哪里啊？
And I said, Where do you like?
他说我觉得还是
I
喜欢
said,
到人间，
I like to be in a
但
human
是做
world,
人太辛苦
but
了。
it's difficult to be a human
啊
being.
师傅，你给我指条路吧。
Master, can you
我
point
说
the
那还是到
directions?
人间做条狗吧
I。said, What about
我说
dogs
为
in
啥呢
life?？
我说现在
I
啊，
say
人都
why?
不生孩子，
Well, a lot of
但是
time
把
people
狗当
don't
孩
like
子，对狗可
babies.
好了。
So now
是不是
people
啊？
treat dogs really
哎，这
well.
个他免费整天一伺候你，虽然
And
狗
they
们一般
will-
活10几年的话，这10几年一般都是很幸福的。
This 10 over years,
是不
you
是
will
啊？
lead a very good
现在
life.
人的幸福感远远不如狗。
Humans are not
对不对？
as doesn't have have the same level of happiness to dogs. So I wish that in the future life you will be a good dog. She laughed. Her laugh was a little bit with. But she probably found it quite funny. She laughed quite strangely. I feel that different people, the reincarnations in the future life, it will be a new life form. And today, the divorce rate is very high. Maybe because they just clear the past hatred of
因为过去的相爱。
Because of the love in the past life, and that's why in this life they got married. But after they get married, and then they start to quarrel, and after that they enter like into enemies, and then they left one another. That means the end of the relationships. So that's the end of it. Does it mean your love ends there? No, doesn't. Because you are still like a radar, you're still sensing love. And you seek the new love. And after that, you find that there's some another person that's suitable. So this is the karma relationships, and this relationship, this relatedness is something that's difficult to explain. It's because of your past love and all your past hatred. You will transform into this love into different relationships. Because of hatred, you come and take revenge. There are those of this as well. Like a lot of sons in this life. They work really hard to work very hard, accumulate a lot of wealth for the future generations, and they have a son, and the son just squanders off the money. And this is the son that are here to burn your money, and they are here to take revenge. And there are some children, they find that it is not easy, so we'll help to bring more. Will help to bring prosperity to the family, to have a good business, to have accumulate more wealth, more fortunes for the families. For these categories, they are here to repay kindness. There are some brothers and sisters, and there are some very good friends who positively reinforce you, who bring good friendships. Sometimes the good friendships is better than siblings. We talk about the Taoyuan, about Zhang Fei. Those few, you know them, like Zhuge Liang, Zhang Fei. We can talk about Zhang Fei's stories in the future. But we have these stories about friends. The friendship bonds, the brotherhood bonds is stronger than siblings. And that's why from today's stories, it reminds us that we should accumulate more merits. Because in your life, in the future path, in this law of karma, maybe things will change. When it happens, it just means that if you treat me bad, I will complain about you, and you will lose your job. You think that this is the end of it? No. Revenge will come later. I will drive a car and I will kill you, I'll knock you down, or I'll do some bad things to your child. But the friends, the relationship between friends, if the boss wants to retrench you, your colleagues or your friends helped you. You will know that kindness. You will want to repay that kindness. When something bad happens with family, you try your best to help them because of the relationship that you have with the friends. And not only that, you maintain their good friendships. This is in this life. And in the next life, when we are a baby, do not think that a baby doesn't know. Everyone, every child, you have a purpose in this life. Everyone have a life purpose. Two of you learn Dharma with me. You are here to help people. It is also part of your Dharmic duties. Do you believe in it? Maybe you can think about your past aspirations from your past life. And for me, that's why I have these motivations every day. If you believe that these are all predestined, you will not feel pain and you will not feel that it's a form of suffering. If you believe that this is your purpose in life, you accept it. When you treat it with acceptance, you will be able to treat every obstacle with ease. It is like seeing things with a pair of cold eyes. What does it mean, a cold eyes? It just means that you are very cool and you're very calm and collected. So for this lady, why is it that she had a divorce? She divorced the first husband, the white husband. Why? Because the fortune teller says that it is a relationship that crossed past 3 lives. So this is probably the 3rd lifetime. And they end up in divorce because that's the end of that. So if you really believe, if you truly believe in fortunes and fate, you should not be sad about it. You should treat the next relationship, you create a better and more auspicious future relationships. So I think this broadly is about the gist of our live broadcast today. So let's talk about the next broadcast. The next broadcast will be 26th of November, Saturday night, Asian time, 7 p.m. For North America will be November 26th, morning, 3 a.m. Saturday morning. So I wish all health, longevity, and auspiciousness, and harmonious relationships with the family, and see you next week.
我智慧了，我快
日